The formation was failing, its energy fraying like worn silk. He saw the truth in the hairpin's cold glint and the grief settled like dust. Now the momentum is locked and events slip their leash. Witness the opening. Formation is not just a little weaker. Jiang Fan didn't even bother to use the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique. Sword control technique, he called out lightly but clearly. The purple sword in his hand flew out, transformed into a purple light, and pierced through dozens of feet of blade energy, aiming straight for Yi Feng's face. Yi Feng was terrified and lost color. He hurriedly collected his blade and placed it horizontally in front of his chest. Ding! The purple sword struck the long blade. How could a top-grade magic artifact-level blade withstand the might of the purple sword? It instantly became covered with cracks. Yi Feng was shaken and stepped back repeatedly, a look of terror in his eyes. A casual strike was this powerful, he was afraid. Decisively, he fled toward Xianxia, saying, "Guest Minister Xi, save me. This person cannot be handled by me." Xianxia was in a fierce battle with Sea Charm, about to seize the opportunity of her serious injury to slay her. Hearing the plea for help, he glanced toward Jiang Fan's battlefield. At a glance, his old eyes widened. He let out a roaring voice of anger. "You little bastard, what did you do?" No less than 7 strong warriors. Unexpectedly, they were all killed by Jiang Fan with only Yi Feng left, and it had only been less than 10 breaths. These were all his main subordinates in the Jiangshan first-class building. Even that terrifying woman from the Silver Fox clan hadn't killed as many as Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan said coldly, "Naturally, I sent them on their way. Don't worry, it will be your turn soon." Buzz, he transformed into lightning, blocking Yi Feng's path. Killing intent rolled in his eyes. "Do you think anyone can save you?" Soul-shocking stab. Without hesitation, he directly launched a soul attack. In an instant, Yi Feng, caught off guard, let out a cry of pain. With Jiang Fan's improvement in realm, the power of the soul-shocking stab had also increased significantly. Even a strong 8th layer of core formation cultivator suffered greatly from a blow. Taking advantage of this opportunity, he struck out with a 5 Thunder True Heaven Palm. "You little beast, how dare you?" Xianxia shouted furiously, his eyes nearly popping out of their sockets. Decisively, he abandoned the severely injured Sea Charm and turned to attack Jiang Fan in fury. To kill his hall master in front of him, what utter contempt! Sea Charm laughed loudly. "You old thing! I told you just now. The moment my master makes a move, your people will be finished. Do you believe it now?" She laughed while forcefully chasing after him with her injured body. Intercepting Xianxia. "Get away," Xianxia said anxiously. Sea Charm wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, chuckled, and said, "You're anxious. Sorry, your opponent is me." However, she was just barely holding on. Having already suffered a heavy blow from the Xianxia sleeve attack, and then repeatedly injured by Xianxia. Her injuries were now quite severe. She might not be able to hold him off for many moves. Catch! At this moment, Jiang Fan tossed her 2 items. Instinctively, Sea Charm grabbed them. She glanced at them and showed a look of joy. "Revitalizing pill?" Without hesitation, she swallowed it, and a warm current immediately flowed to her wounds. The painful areas quickly subsided in pain. However, the other pendant made her pause. Wasn't this given to her by Jiang Fan during the battle against the Beihai Demon clan? With a hint of suspicion, she also put it around her neck. Instantly, she sensed the astonishing quality of the pendant. Her demon power doubled. The 9th layer of core formation demon power doubled, became so powerful it began to overflow, far exceeding the demon power that her current realm could bear, just in time for Xianxia to seize the opportunity to launch a sneak attack. A pair of Xianxia sleeves silently crossed the space to strike. Sea Charm chuckled. Utilizing this unprecedented, terrifying demon power, she raised her hand and grabbed, forcefully snatching the Xianxia sleeves. "What?" Xianxia's face changed immensely in extreme shock. Sea Charm snorted coldly. "Xianxia sleeves, huh?" She pulled forcefully. Buzz, this material, exceptionally tough and considered a magical treasure sleeve, was ripped apart by her bare hands. "No," Xianxia shouted in panic, hurriedly rushing forward, a palm striking toward Sea Charm's head. "Damn savage, how dare you destroy my magical treasure?" This was his most proud trump card, and now it was destroyed. Sea Charm raised her palm, meeting the attack head-on. Xianxia's face was wrathful. He believed he could still injure Sea Charm as before. However, at the moment their palms collided, Xianxia suddenly felt an unimaginable, terrifying demon power, like a tidal wave crashing down. With a bang, he was knocked flying, crashing against the stone wall before stopping. The stone wall behind him cracked like a spider web from the impact. Your demon power, what is it?" he cried out in shock. Si Charm's pretty face turned icy. "Once you are underground, I'll tell you." She immediately charged forward, taking the initiative to attack. In a flash, the roles of offense and defense reversed, and Yi Feng's heart turned cold. His biggest reliance, guest Minister Zai, was even being suppressed. As he watched Jiang Fan launch a 5-thunder true heaven palm, he wielded his blade, trying to resist. But how could the already shattered blade endure the 5-thunder true heaven palm's strike? With a cracking sound, the blade fractured into countless metal fragments, several embedded into Yi Feng's body, one blade piece even piercing into his face. "Ah!" Yi Feng let out a wail of pain, but it wasn't over yet. The remaining lightning struck his chest, piercing through his body. Crackle, his clothes were all shredded by the electricity, his chest instantly becoming a bloody mess. The whole body convulsed, writhing on the ground, wailing in agony. Jiang Fan did not stop. He raised his hand and grabbed, the purple sword flew into his palm. With a flash of purple, the sword tip rested on Yi Feng's heart. Yi Feng was frightened out of his wits, shouting, "I am the hall master of the Jiangshan first-class building. If you kill me, do you know what the consequences will be?" Jiang Fan said indifferently, "I don't know." "And I don't want to know." Swish, the sword tip pierced his chest. Yi Feng was scared witless, completely terrified, shouting, "Stop, stop, please stop. I know I was wrong. Please give me a chance. I can compensate you any condition you want. Our Jiangshan first-class building commands all the markets in Taikang State. As hall master, I have a lot of rare resources. Let me go and I'll give you what's on me now." Jiang Fan slightly realized. It turns out Jiangshan first-class building is some kind of business alliance. Zaifeiju, Yi Feng, and the building members just slain were all experts hired by Jiangshan first-class building. They weren't nurtured by some grand sects or great religions. No wonder Yi Feng's strength was far inferior to Bai Chu, and not even as good as Wang Qingxiao earlier. This type mostly hired loose cultivators without a sect. Cultivating by themselves, their strength naturally incomparable to those with sect inheritance. "Sir, what do you think?" Yi Feng looked imploringly. Jiang Fan nodded, "Okay," just as joy appeared in Yi Feng's eyes. Jiang Fan thrust his long sword, mercilessly piercing his heart. "You!" Yi Feng felt cold in his chest, blood welling up from his mouth, a look of unwillingness on his face. Jiang Fan pulled out the sword indifferently, saying, "Killing you, your things are mine all the same." Moreover, he severed Yi Feng's tightly clutched right hand with a sword slash. The 5 fingers lost their strength, slowly opening. A rather powerful iron ball appeared in the palm. "Moreover, I didn't believe a single word you said," Jiang Fan said coldly. This little trick of pretending to surrender, waiting to deliver a fatal blow as he relaxed, couldn't possibly deceive him anymore. "You!" Yi Feng looked full of unwillingness. His eyes gradually lost focus. Finally, his body stopped convulsing as well, lying motionless on the ground, for safety's sake. Jiang Fan raised his sword and dropped it, severing his head to prevent any feigned death. "Yi Feng!" Zaifeiju let out a mournful roar of anger he never imagined. Merely a breakthrough attempt on Jiang Fan, his subordinates would be massacred in return. This roar also caught Jiang Fan's attention. His gaze turned icy. "It's your turn." This person is determined to kill Jiang Fan just because Jiang Fan leaked a bit of the void flow thunder force. There must be an internal reason unknown to him. A thought crossed his mind. Jiang Fan quietly retrieved the ancient heart mirror and hid it in his sleeve. He aimed it at Zaifeiju from a distance, sneering coldly. "Why do you want to kill me? Speak up and I'll give you a swift end." Zaifeiju laughed angrily. "You little punk. Who do you think you are that you can detain me? You killed 7 of my subordinates. I will tear you to pieces." He didn't continue speaking. Because Jiang Fan held a fearsome spiritual pressure talisman in his hand, the aura emanating from it made him feel suffocated. "See, Charm, step back to avoid getting hurt," Jiang Fan said indifferently. Swish, Sea Charm transformed into snow and wind, instantly moving back to Jiang Fan's side. With a cold gaze, she stared at Zaifeiju. This person is extremely formidable, his combat prowess comparable to the sky-devouring tiger. Even if her demon power doubled, it would be hard to kill him quickly. If he wanted to escape, it would be even harder to stop him. Fortunately, Jiang Fan had a nascent soul jade token. With this talisman, even if Zaifeiju had 9 lives, it would not be enough. Zaifeiju's whole body went stiff, his pupils trembling as he stared at the talisman in Jiang Fan's hand. His voice quivered. "You, how do you have such a thing?" This talisman is an exceedingly rare treasure even in Taikang state. Outside, it's hard to obtain even one, yet this young man, just a junior, holds one in his hands. Jiang Fan said blandly, "Earlier you said you wanted to tear me to pieces." Xianxia shivered slightly. The harshness on his face dissipated, replaced with a benevolent expression. Even his eyes became unusually clear at this moment. "It's a misunderstanding, young friend. What I meant was, you are always welcome at the Jiangshan first-class building." Tui, Sea Charm, spat out a mouthful of bloody spittle. Her eyes showed disdain. How shameless. Just moments ago, he was yelling about fighting and killing. Now, feeling his life threatened, he immediately changes his tune. Jiang Fan was not buying any of this. "If you won't speak, I'll just send you off to the afterlife then." He decisively activated the talisman. Xianxia, scared out of his wits, hastily said, "Wait. I'll talk." Someone issued a bounty order. "Find anyone cultivating the Void Flow Thunder Force, and the reward is a sky-ascending pill." "A sky-ascending pill that guarantees breaking through to the nascent soul realm," he said the last sentence. His gaze discreetly glanced at Sea Charm. Secretly hoping, Sea Charm would suddenly turn against Jiang Fan and backstab him. Then he would have a chance to escape. Perhaps even counterkill Jiang Fan in the chaos and seize that nascent soul jade token. However, to his disappointment, apart from being very surprised, Sea Charm did not show the slightest intention of backstabbing Jiang Fan. "A bounty? Cultivating the Void Flow Thunder Force." Jiang Fan was immensely shocked. He had been cultivating the Void Flow Thunder Force for just about a month at most. How did others know? "Who is this person?" Jiang Fan demanded sternly. Xianxia's eyes flickered. "A major figure in the divinity transformation realm." Hiss. Jiang Fan's scalp tingled. Someone in the divinity transformation realm had set their sights on him. Even worse. His cultivation of the Void Flow Thunder Force had been detected by Xianxia. If he let him leave alive, the consequences, just imagining it, gave Jiang Fan the chills. He hesitated no longer. Decisively activated the nascent soul one-strike jade token. Intended to deal with Xianxia, he had been reluctant to use it. Now it seemed it was totally worth it. Xianxia's expression changed, shouting angrily, "You brat, you don't keep your word!" While yelling, he was already prepared, crushing a talisman. A whirlwind swirled around him, instantly boosting his movement technique, allowing him to jump over 20 zhang. In a blink, he reached the exit. But Jiang Fan executed a cloud shadow directly sweeping over. Coldly blocking the way, "I only said I'd give you a swift end. Didn't say I would spare your life." The talisman in his palm was fully ignited. On the verge of erupting, Xianxia's face showed horror, desperately yelling, "You little scoundrel, are you really going to wipe us all out?" The flickering light of the talisman cast Jiang Fan's face into a cold visage. "When you were hunting me down relentlessly, why didn't you show mercy? Now, it's all too late to say anything." But just at the moment when the talisman was about to release, boom, a world-shattering noise suddenly transmitted from above the ground. The secret realm, deeply buried underground, shook violently. Crack! The dome of the secret realm cracked with a snap. A fissure, reaching from the ground to here, traced its way down from above. Residual waves of destruction echoed within the crack. Jiang Fan's pupils contracted sharply. This is a nascent soul strike. An ancient giant and nascent soul experts were fighting and accidentally struck near this area. They pierced through the ground, revealing the underground secret realm. Xianxia was also stunned. Then he rejoiced exceedingly. He leapt into the crack above, climbing rapidly towards the outside. As he climbed, he shouted loudly, "Deputy Building Master Yan! Deputy Building Master Yan, save me!" As ancient giants were here, Deputy Building Master Yan Dao'an must be nearby too. As long as he made it out, he would be saved. Jiang Fan's expression also changed. The crack appeared at such a time of all times. He immediately used the second layer of cloud shadow. Instantaneous movement over 1,000 zhang of distance. Directly blocked Xianxia's path. Without hesitation, he threw down the nascent soul jade token in his hand. The terrifying nascent soul aura spread frantically, transforming into a blanket of azure light. A colossal outstanding spear faintly appeared within the azure light. It emitted a supreme, heaven-shattering sharpness. Yet just at this moment, a majestic and massive voice, rolling like divine power, echoed from afar. "Fellow Taoists, spare him!" The nascent soul realm's deputy building Master Yan heard Xianxia's cry for help, and noticed he was in danger. Xianxia found life in a hopeless situation, hurriedly bowing to Jiang Fan. "Young friend, please cease at once. All matters can be discussed. Why push things to the point of mutual destruction?" Don't you think? On the surface, he wanted peace, but his heart was filled with chilling intent. Heavens did not abandon me. This is destiny urging me to obtain the sky ascending pill. Once united with Deputy Building Master Yan, he would find every means to kill this person, the honored guest elder of Jiangshan first-class building. Being forced to repeatedly beg by a mere junior at 5th level of core formation after having his subordinates massacred. Not killing this person, how could he relieve the anger in his heart? Of course, he must keep his head. To exchange it for the destiny-altering sky-ascending pill. But Jiang Fan's face remained indifferent. Mutual destruction is better than you taking my head to exchange for the sky-ascending pill, stepping over my corpse to achieve nascent soul. If we must die, let us die together. Go, Jiang Fan pointed from afar. The 100-jang spear shadow, emanating an aura of annihilation, locked onto Xianxia. With a swoosh, the sky exploded with azure light. The spear thrust out in an instant, leaving overlapping afterimages in the sky. When Xianxia realized, the spear had already pierced through his chest, leaving a huge, head-sized, bloody hole. The dreadful aura of annihilation instantly vaporized his body. At that moment, he was like a ceramic figure burned through. Fine cracks spread from the hole, extending outward. Xianxia was incredulous. Jiang Fan actually dared to defy the order of a nascent soul expert and strike at him. His eyes held lingering unwillingness. Overwhelming unwillingness. From a despised, impoverished youth to the now revered guest elder of Jiangshan first-class building, how much hardship had he endured, how much pain had he suffered? How many moments of despair, how much torment had he withstood, finally reaching today? Yet it ended like this. Meeting Jiang Fan, he thought it was a second spring in his Dao cultivation journey. To seize this opportunity to achieve nascent soul to become a true powerhouse under the heavens. Who would have thought? The end result was his fall, his lifetime of struggle all destroyed. He couldn't accept this. He was filled with hatred. Why wouldn't Jiang Fan resign to fate? Why? At the moment of death, he glared fiercely at Jiang Fan, venomously shouting, "If I die, don't think you'll have it easy." Deputy Building Master Yan, he is? Suddenly, he found himself unable to speak. Not sure when it happened. A seed like a mung bean sprout landed on his shoulder. The top pod opened, revealing dense teeth. It bit into his neck. Xianxia suddenly felt that his body was no longer under the control of his soul. Like a wooden puppet, unable to move, also unable to speak. The words void flow thunder force were on the tip of his tongue, yet no matter what, he couldn't say them. Jiang Fan stepped on a flying sword, slowly descending. His gaze was incredibly indifferent. I was prepared for you long ago. A cornered dog will leap over a wall, let alone someone as vicious as Xianxia, if he reveals the secret before dying. This nascent soul jade token would be wasted. Xianxia's eyes flooded with boundless malice, but unfortunately, he couldn't utter a word as cracks rapidly spread across his chest. Finally, with a bang, his body shattered like porcelain into countless fragments. Jiang Fan reacted quickly, grabbing a broken finger, because there was a space storage ring on it. However, this kind of man-made space storage device requires a specific spell to open. Without the spell, it is futile. And the only one who knew the spell, Xianxia, was already dead. Just as he hesitated whether to take this item or not, Charm quickly caught up, saying, "Master, are you all right?" The strike from that long spear just now was world-destroying. It made her very worried. Jiang Fan shook his head and said, "I'm fine. Quickly leave this place." As soon as the words fell, a thunderous roar exploded above their heads. Who is it? Daring to kill my Jiangshan first-class building's guest elder? Both Jiang Fan and Charm staggered, almost falling off the rock wall. Hurry, go! Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. He had completely offended a nascent soul expert. If this person discovers him, there would be no escape for him. He quickly returned to the secret realm and put away the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. Embracing Ling Shu, he headed for the entrance from which he came. Suddenly, he caught sight of a tail out of the corner of his eye. Looking sideways, he discovered 3 members of the Silver Fox clan hiding in a crack. Almost forgot about them. "You are free. Leave this place quickly." Jiang Fan shouted and resolutely went into the passage, heading outward. The 3 Silver Fox members glanced at each other. In the end, they decided to follow Jiang Fan out. Half a cup of tea later, the group reached the surface. Jiang Fan cautiously observed the surroundings at the exit, only to hear the roaring sounds around him. Occasionally, divine light pierced the sky and terrifying spells shattered the earth. The blue sky was rendered into a spectrum of colors by the magical light spots, as if the apocalypse had come. Boom! a residual wave hit near them, immediately triggering a massive earthquake. The tunnel they were in shook, large rocks falling down. The ground at the exit was flattened by almost 30 feet. Jiang Fan, who was looking out at the exit, almost got carried away by this sudden wave. Everyone's hearts couldn't help but beat wildly. They were now on the edge of a nascent soul battlefield. Any random residual wave could take their lives. Charm swallowed and said, "Master, do we proceed now?" It seemed a little safer in the secret realm. Jiang Fan's scalp tingled. If they didn't leave once the battle ended and Deputy Building Master Yan came to inspect the secret realm, they would surely die. But if they left, every direction was dangerous at this moment. Among the 3 Silver Fox members, a pretty young female Silver Fox weakly said, "How about we hide in our Silver Fox clan's refuge? It's deep underground, should be very safe." A male Silver Fox member's eyebrows shot up. "Xiaoya, that is our Silver Fox clan's refuge, never open to outsiders. If the clan leader finds out, he'll surely be angry." Another male Silver Fox member also frowned and said, "Moreover, the clan leader was previously injured by that guest elder from Jiangshan first-class building, and his life is in danger. It's even less suitable to bring outsiders in." Charm coldly glanced at the 2 male Silver Fox members. Her eyes contained a trace of disdain. If not for Jiang Fan, these 2 guys would have been taken to Taking to be sold as slaves. Just caught a breath, and now they're disdainful of Jiang Fan as an outsider. Xiaoya looked at Jiang Fan's back, weakly said, "But he saved us. If we bring him back, the clan leader won't say anything." The 2 male Silver Fox members looked displeased, murmured quietly, "We didn't ask him to save us. He talks as if we owe him a favor." "Exactly, he was just protecting himself, wasn't specifically saving us," Xiaoya said reluctantly, but the space was just that big. No matter how soft, everything could be heard clearly. Jiang Fan found it hard to pretend not to hear and interrupted Xiaoya, "Don't be troubled. I never planned to go to your Silver Fox tribe's refuge." Concubine Xianxia might also be there. Even if begged to go, Jiang Fan might refuse, yet they still appeared unwilling. A male Silver Fox member sneered. "Of course one would say that after being rejected." "We're leaving." Xiaoya was helpless. She could only repeatedly bow apologetically to Jiang Fan, following her 2 companions quietly out of the tunnel. Then, clinging closely to the foot of Qingshan, hurriedly headed toward the Silver Fox tribe's refuge. The whole journey was safe. At a turn, suddenly, a stray beam without warning pierced through Qingshan, grazing above their heads. The powerful nascent soul fluctuations contained in the beam instantly knocked the 3 to the ground. Xiaoya was the closest. Hit by the fluctuation, her internal organs were destroyed, and she flew out shrieking, vomiting blood endlessly, looking like she wouldn't survive long. One of the male Silver Fox members, the unluckiest, had his head crushed by the fluctuation, dying on the spot. The other had slightly better luck, but was still covered in blood, continuously vomiting blood. Prostrate on the ground, unable to move, it seemed he wouldn't last long either. Charm gasped, "Isn't this too dangerous?" In an instant, there was a death and 2 serious injuries. Jiang Fan frowned, gazing at the ever more flickering multicolored sky. The battle seemed to be getting more intense. Except for underground, nowhere seemed safe. Gritting his teeth slightly, Jiang Fan said, "Evacuate this place? Hold on to me?" He planned to use Cloud Shadow to quickly get away from this place. Charm's expression was slightly embarrassed, but thinking about how she had already embraced him, why care about so much now? She stretched out her pale arm, wrapping it around Jiang Fan's waist from behind. The wide and hot back made Charm's cheeks burn, a blush spreading from ear to cheek. "Hold tight!" Jiang Fan shouted lowly, decisively activated Cloud Shadow, disappearing instantly from the original place. Upon reappearing, they were already 800 feet away. Carrying 2 people while using Cloud Shadow's second layer, the instantaneous movement distance was greatly affected. Slightly unexpectedly, ahead were exactly the 3 Silver Fox members. Thinking it over, Jiang Fan went over to Xiaoya, who was already dying, took out a revitalizing pill and fed it to her. "Consider yourself lucky." If Cloud Shadow hadn't passed over them directly, Jiang Fan wouldn't have gone back to save her. With the powerful medicating power supplemented, Xiaoya managed to cling to life. Eyes full of gratitude, she said, "Thank you, young Master Jiang." Jiang Fan nodded, once again using Cloud Shadow, said, "Take care of yourself." Xiaoya pleaded, "Young Master Jiang, can you take me to the refuge?" The battle of nascent soul experts was terrifying. She didn't think she could make it to the refuge alive. Jiang Fan frowned slightly. Now wasn't the time to be a good person or play hero. Giving her a revitalizing pill was already unusually kind. I won't let you help for nothing, Xiaoya hastily said. I know the spell for that guest elder's space storage device. If you go back and find his space storage device, you can open it. What? Jiang Fan's pupils shook. He quietly touched the space storage device in his arms. He thought that with Xi Feiju dead, no one would know the spell, and this space storage device would become useless. Xiaoya's words left him quite surprised. How did you know? Xiaoya said weakly. My bloodline talent is lip reading. When he was mumbling once, I recognized it. He didn't expect that such an inconspicuous talent could have such a big effect. After a brief consideration, he decisively said, All right, I'll see you off on your journey. See Charm, hold on to her. See Charm nodded, one arm around Jiang Fan, the other holding Xiaoya. Just as they were about to set out, the male Silver Fox clan member, still spitting blood, showed a pleading expression. Young Master Jiang, please save me too. I'm done for. He, who had been in despair, watched as Xiaoya, who was more severely injured than him, was not only rescued, but also personally escorted back to the refuge by Jiang Fan. Suddenly felt like he was saved from inevitable death. Jiang Fan glanced at him coolly and said, I can only protect myself now. You'll have to rely on your own luck. Not to mention he couldn't bring more people along. Even if he could, why save someone like this? When he returns to the refuge, they might say, you just happened to save me on your way. It doesn't count as saving my life. Wouldn't that be disgusting? After coldly leaving these words, he launched Cloud Shadow and flickered away, leaving behind the male Silver Fox clan members' desperate shouts. No, don't leave me behind. Jiang Fan, several hundred yards away, could no longer hear his voice, because a terrifying sword chi landed just 100 yards ahead of him. Fortunately, Jiang Fan stopped in time. Otherwise, he'd be struck directly by the sword chi. Why is it getting more intense? Jiang Fan's eyes were heavy with anxiety. In that very instant of his sighing, another exceedingly powerful wave appeared around him. His scalp went numb. The center of the battlefield is moving over here. Quickly, let's go. If they get caught in the center of the battlefield, even 10 lives wouldn't be enough to die. Xiaoya hurriedly pointed in a direction. Over there, 2,000 yards, then around that mountain, and we're there. Jiang Fan didn't dare to hesitate. Swiftly, he operated Cloud Shadow, turning into a thunderbolt and leaving, and just as he suspected, the battlefield was indeed shifting towards this area. Massive, terrifying attacks swept through, just as he was barely stopping. Above his head, the eternal Qingshan mountain range made a cracking sound, looking up. It was a gigantic sword, 1,000 yards long, leveling the mountain. Several towering peaks fell downward with an overwhelming, apocalyptic sound. The massive shadow obscured the sky, enveloping Jiang Fan and the others, also causing Si Charm and Xiaoya's pupils to contract dramatically. Jiang Fan's eyes also turned serious, urgently activating Cloud Shadow. SHH? He instantaneously moved out several hundred yards, but still didn't escape the shadow of the rolling mountains, gritting his teeth. He continuously operated Cloud Shadow only after 5 times, when his thunder power was nearly exhausted. Light finally reappeared above his head, and not far behind, a terrifying shockwave exploded from the mountain, crashing to the ground. The intense airwaves nearly swept the few of them off their feet. Jiang Fan didn't look back, decisively operated sword flight. Skimming along the ground to bypass the mountain ahead, he took a detour. Indeed, he saw a chaotic pile of rocks resembling a secret realm. Xiaoya hastily bit her tongue, spitting a mouthful of essence blood onto the pile of rocks. Rumble, the pile of rocks split apart, revealing a passage leading underground. We've arrived. What's the spell? Jiang Fan hastily asked. They needed to leave this place quickly. The center of the great battle had completely moved over. Xiaoya jumped off the flying sword and quickly said, Great luck and prosperity without any taboos. Jiang Fan memorized it, decisively operated the flying sword to leave. But at this moment, a terrifying blade chi came slashing towards them with pinpoint accuracy. The mountain range along the way was all severed. Si Charm was full of despair, unable to hold back a scream. Jiang Fan's heart pounded intensely. At this moment, what more could he care about? The flying sword turned, becoming a shadow, and dove into the secret passage. Rumble, the world was replaced with deafening, thundering sounds. Jiang Fan's ears buzzed, while an incredibly fierce airwave from behind swept him, sword and all, further into the passage, only stopping when he slammed against a stone wall. Even with Jiang Fan's strong physique, it felt as if all his bones were about to fall apart. Fortunately, his life was spared. "Young Master Jiang, are you all right?" Xiaoya, who had entered before them and was less affected, looked much better. Rushed forward with a concerned expression. "I'm fine, but I fear I can't leave this place for the time being." Above, the resounding thunder echoed without stop. Needless to say, above were groups of nascent soul experts making moves. Going out now would surely be a death wish. Xiaoya looked apprehensive and said, "Young Master Jiang, this place isn't very safe. Come with me to the underground." Jiang Fan hesitated and said, "This place forbids outsiders to enter. If your clansmen find out you brought us here, it will bring you trouble." Xiaoya bit her red lips slightly and said, "A punishment is just a punishment. Young Master Jiang saved my life twice. What does a punishment matter to Xiaoya?" Jiang Fan secretly admired her. This female silver fox isn't bad at all, much better than that tigress concubine Xianxia. After a brief thought, he said, "Let's do this. If the refuge has somewhere to hide us, just hide us there. Once things calm down outside, we'll discreetly leave. We will try not to cause you any trouble." Xiaoya thought for a moment, her eyes brightened and said, "The refuge is quite spacious, with no place to hide anyone. However, you can hide in the room of the 2 male clansmen who sacrificed themselves. The refuge has prepared a room for every clansman, and usually, we don't enter others' rooms without permission. Now those 2 rooms are vacant. You can just hide there." Jiang Fan nodded. "All right." Under Xiaoya's guidance, they quietly made their way underground. It was an underground space much more expansive than the secret realm, with caves dug into the mountain walls. All around was quiet. The Silver Fox clan were nocturnal, and now in daylight they were mostly sleeping. Xiaoya tiptoed, arranging Jiang Fan in a room with the number 29 on the door. Si Charm and Ling Shu were placed next door. She made a silencing gesture, then slipped back into her own cave. Jiang Fan understood, carefully closing the cave door. He didn't dare speak or cultivate to prevent spiritual power fluctuations from emerging and alerting the Silver Fox clan. With nothing else to do, he could only rest. Luckily in the cave, there was a large, soft bed. Undressing, he comfortably lay down. Listening to the faint sounds of battle from above, he felt completely at peace. Even the nascent soul experts, no matter how powerful, couldn't penetrate such deep earth. As his mind relaxed, a wave of drowsiness overcame him. To break through the 5th level of core formation, he had been training non-stop for 7 days, plus another big battle after the breakthrough. His mental exhaustion was substantial. With eyes closed, he fell into a deep sleep. Meanwhile, in the clan leader's cave, the door suddenly opened and a weary figure clad in snow-white attire walked out. Under the dim light, her thin face appeared ethereal and beautiful, like a celestial being walking among mortals. Inside the cave, a weak voice of an elderly woman echoed. "You have worked hard, saving clan members and taking care of this useless old woman." Xianxia shook her head and softly said, "It's all right. Just need a little rest." The clan leader apologized. "Stay in my room tonight for rest. Ever since you joined the Demon Emperor Court, your room has been neglected and unused." Xianxia waved her hand. "No problem. Didn't 3 clansmen get captured? Tonight, I'll temporarily borrow one of their caves to use." With that, she staggered to a cave entrance, gazed at the number 29 on the door, then pushed it open and stepped into the pitch-black room. "Slept with me," she raised her finger and lit a flame, then quickly blew it out again. "Just sleep directly, it's not too late to freshen up tomorrow morning." She rubbed her muddled head. Each cave dwelling was furnished the same. Without waiting, she skillfully walked to the bed. She took off her clothes and tiredly lay down on the bed. The weariness swept over her and she soon fell into a deep sleep. That night, her sleep was restless. The whole night she lingered between dream and reality. In the dream, someone was sometimes stroking her back, sometimes embracing her waist, sometimes holding her chest, making her toss and turn, trying to escape. But each time she changed position, the person hugged her again. She was tormented by this shameful dream all night long. Upon waking, her head was still drowsy. Her eyes were bloodshot. "What's wrong with me? Why did I have such a dream?" As her consciousness gradually cleared, her fairy-like face naturally flushed with a hint of discomfort, especially when recalling the burning hands and the vivid sensation of them gliding over her skin. It made her face turn even redder. How embarrassing to have such a dream! She lightly stuck out her tongue, trying not to think about it, but she couldn't help recalling the feeling of that hand holding her chest and playing wantonly. That peculiar feeling made her both ashamed and somewhat reminiscent. Oh my gosh, Xianxia, are you crazy? How can you think about these things? Have you been corrupted by that bastard Jiang Fan? She came to her senses, rubbing her face with her fingers to wake herself up. Not to think about that humiliating dream anymore. Perhaps rubbing her face was effective, or perhaps Jiang Fan's name distracted her. She really stopped recalling the dream. After a night's sleep, she felt much lighter, stretching with a long and contented yawn. She let out a comfortable murmur. Although I've been very tired lately, being away from Jiang Fan, no matter how tired my body is, my heart is at peace. Days without seeing Jiang Fan are really wonderful. A satisfied smile appeared on her face. She never expected much from life, so she could face everything with calmness anytime. Not fighting, not competing, neither joy nor sorrow. Until she met Jiang Fan, she realized there was truly a person in this world, like a nemesis, who could break her defenses. Jiang Fan did nothing, just standing still could stir her emotions. And if he said something provocative or did something excessive, he could directly infuriate her, turning her into a state she didn't even recognize. Recalling all kinds of moments with Jiang Fan, she felt a suffocating sensation again. Don't think about it, don't think about it. Anyway, by the time I returned to the Demon Emperor court, he would have been squeezed of his value by the Demon Emperor and killed. I won't encounter him again in the future. Time to get up and get to work. With a snap of her fingers, a wisp of medicinal power struck the roof. The embedded fluorite emitted a faint blue light, gradually illuminating the dim interior. She nostalgically rolled around on the bed for a moment. But, as she turned to the side, a naked man entered her view. She froze, looking at the man's face. It was Jiang Fan. She immediately closed her eyes, muttering to herself, "I've been awake for half a day and I'm still in a dream." What a powerful dream! Nightmare begone, nightmare begone, nightmare begone. She kept chanting, trying to make herself wake up from the nightmare quickly. To avoid Jiang Fan, she had run back to the Silver Fox tribe, hiding in the tribe's refuge, but upon waking up, Jiang Fan was sleeping next to her. If this isn't a dream, what is it? But the more she chanted, the clearer her mind became and the more anxious she felt. Finally, she couldn't chant anymore. She abruptly opened her eyes. Jiang Fan was still there. This wasn't a dream. Jiang Fan had really left the Demon Emperor court, traveled miles to the Silver Fox tribe, even reaching the sanctuary forbidden to outsiders, and spent the night with her. She only felt as if the sky was spinning, truly sensing Jiang Fan as a destined nemesis. Running so far, yet still unable to escape. Suddenly, she remembered the incredibly vivid dream from last night. The one caressing her back, holding her waist, gripping her chest. Was it not a dream? It actually happened, and it was Jiang Fan who did it. Her delicate body trembled instantly. Previously, he had barged into her bathing pond, taking advantage of her without pause. He actually traveled this far, treating her so lightly. Jiang Fan! Unable to bear it, she screamed in collapse. Jiang Fan was already in a groggy sleep when he was suddenly awakened by a piercing scream. Hurriedly opened his eyes. He hadn't slept well last night either. Just as he was sleeping comfortably, he found a smooth, soft, and warm thing beside him. Instinctively, he pulled it into his arms, touching and hugging. The other party was quite restless, trying constantly to break free from him. He had to repeatedly pull them back. After much hassle, the other party finally gave in, letting him do as he wished. He thought it was a dream. Now opening his eyes. In his blurry vision, a face with delicate, flawless skin and beauty like an immortal gradually appeared. But the face was currently filled with overwhelming fury. The eyes that should have been gentle were brimming with murderous intent like that of an Asura. Jiang Fan instantly came to his senses, exclaiming softly, "Concubine Xianxia?" He abruptly sat up. Only then did he feel the chill on his body and quickly pulled the animal's skin around himself, angrily saying, What did you do to me?" Clearly, when he went to bed last night, there was no one else on the bed. Waking up to find Concubine Xianxia beside him, it was hard not to think that Concubine Xianxia had done it on purpose. "What are you saying?" Concubine Xianxia, furious, let her demon power surge all over her body. Her chest heaving violently, she was going insane. Last night, Jiang Fan had treated her so outrageously, and now he was turning the tables. "I'll kill you!" Concubine Xianxia was filled with murderous intent. She lifted her palm to strike Jiang Fan. Oh no! Jiang Fan felt like cursing at his mother, quickly rolling off the bed and grabbing the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, chanting with sealed hands. "Stop! Do you want to taste the power of the 5 magnetic divine light again?" The cave was small. Once the divine light was activated, she would have nowhere to hide. Seeing this mountain, Concubine Xianxia's mind flashed with scenes of her being powerless under the divine light, being manipulated by Jiang Fan as he pleased, memories of humiliation. Her shame turned into boundless fury. She bit her teeth tightly, tears brimming in her eyes, each word filled with murderous intent. Jiang Fan, you ruined my purity and dishonored my reputation. Today, even if it's mutual destruction, I want you to pay the price. She had avoided Jiang Fan so much, yet in the end, he traveled miles to ruin her reputation. It was truly too much. As she spoke, she had already spat out a snow-white demon core. The demon core spun rapidly, releasing wave after wave of swirls. She was indeed preparing to detonate her demon core. No matter how formidable the 5 magnetic divine light was, it couldn't possibly suppress the self-destructive power of a 9th layer of core formation master, right? Crazy woman! Jiang Fan angrily unleashed a soul-shocking stab. Our concubine Xianxia cried out in pain, her spirit momentarily dazed. Jiang Fan seized the opportunity to pounce over, pinning her down on the bed, and shouted, "You climbed onto my bed yourself and you blame me. Don't you have any sense of fairness?" Concubine Xianxia laughed angrily. "Shameless dog! You violated me and you say I climbed onto your bed. When I came here last night, the bed was obviously empty." She suddenly stopped talking. Her expression on her face suddenly froze. Mansion because she remembered. Last night she was lazy. She went to bed without lighting the lamp or taking off her dress. It was said that she climbed into Jiang Fan's bed. It seems not incorrect, but women are never wrong. Then how do you explain that time you peeked at me bathing? Despicable, shameless, vulgar. Concubine Xianxia angrily glared at Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan was speechless. That incident couldn't be explained. He waved his hand. Then let's call it even. I accidentally entered your spirit pond. You accidentally climbed into my bed. Neither of us suffers a loss. Put away your demon core. Concubine Xianxia moved her wrist, tightly held by Jiang Fan, and said, "Then why don't you let go?" Only then did Jiang Fan realize he was pinning Concubine Xianxia down. His face flushed with embarrassment, and he quickly let go. Then rolled to the side, swiftly putting on clothes. Concubine Xianxia also blushed. Her rosy lips slightly parted, and she popped the large demon core into her mouth. Then, with her back to Jiang Fan, she hastily dressed. However, the more she thought, the more she felt something was amiss. What does it mean to be even? Clearly, she was the one suffering both times. Jiang Fan, that bastard, was he acting wronged? She ground her teeth, furious. "I don't care how you got here. Leave quickly before my clansmen wake up, and never let me see you again," if the clan found out that she spent the night with a man. There'd be no explaining it even if she jumped into the Yellow River. Jiang Fan sneered. "I don't want to see you either." If not for the circumstances, he wouldn't have come to this damned place. "You," Concubine Xianxia's teeth ground audibly. Thud, thud at this moment. An unexpected knock on the door resounded, making her heart race. "Xianxia, are you in there?" A feeble old woman's voice came through. Concubine Xianxia was startled and said, "Clan leader, why are you here?" Her heart was instantly in turmoil. It must have been her earlier scream that alerted the clan leader, who came to investigate. "It's nothing, just checking if you had a good rest." "May I come in?" the clan leader rasped while leaning on a cane. Jiang Fan felt a chill run down his spine. Through the stone door, it felt as if a pair of deep eyes were staring at him, making him feel suffocated. This clan leader was probably no simple character. Before Concubine Xianxia could urge him, he quickly wrapped himself in the turtle breath cloak, not fully dressed, standing silently by the wall. Concubine Xianxia was secretly flustered. If the clan leader found out, the consequences would be unimaginable. She glanced at Jiang Fan in his invisibility state. His form and breath were concealed, but the blood aura surrounding him was still visible, with no choice. She released waves of demon power to fill the room. This would interfere with the presence of the blood aura. "Xianxia?" the clan leader inquired once more. Concubine Xianxia quickly responded. "Ah, I'm here." She stepped forward to open the stone door. An elderly woman with gray hair and wrinkled skin stood leaning on a cane outside. She wore a black dress and had a stern expression, giving off an unapproachable feeling. "Clan leader." Concubine Xianxia was extremely apprehensive. The old woman showed a hint of concern. "Did you sleep well last night?" Concubine Xianxia felt even more panicked inside but appeared calm on the surface. "Quite well. Thank you for your concern, clan leader." The old woman stepped into the room and said, "Come in, I have something to discuss with you." Concubine Xianxia felt relieved, thinking the clan leader had discovered something. She looked around and saw no other clan members awake, so she was fully at ease. She closed the stone door and turned back into the room. "Clan leader, what are your instructions?" Concubine Xianxia asked, looking at the clan leader sitting on the stone stool. Her heart skipped a beat. Jiang Fan was hiding invisibly just a step away. If the clan leader extended her arm, she might touch Jiang Fan. The old woman said, "You should make a trip to the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion. If you miss it, you'll have to wait another 5 years." Concubine Xianxia's expression darkened, and she smiled wryly. "Last time I failed to break through to the nascent soul and was entangled by evil qi. Even if I find another chance to break through, it's useless. Unless I can completely cleanse the evil qi from my body." The Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion opens for a brief interval only due to flaws in the array every 5 years. Only then can one sneak in to seek opportunities. In a few days, the gap will be at its largest. It's the only chance to enter. The old woman lightly tapped her cane, meaningfully said, "One must strive, not wait. Life is like a journey. You find the carriage crowded and wait for the next one. The next one's crowded, you still wait. When you finally board the carriage and start moving, others have already reached the destination and enjoyed the scenery. Cultivation is even more so. Opportunities are never awaited, they're fought for." Concubine Xianxia bowed slightly. "Xianxia has learned a valuable lesson. I will set off for the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion soon." Her heart was full of bitterness. The Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion is divided into inner and outer mansions. Anyone can enter the outer mansion. In 50 years, it has opened more than 10 times. 5 years ago, she entered once when it opened, but quickly withdrew, because she found the stone lions by the roadside had been touched till they shone brightly by predecessors. Clearly, in the past 50 years, countless people have entered. How much useful resource could be left inside? In reality, it was indeed like that. The last 20 years, it opened 4 times. No one has reportedly gained opportunities from the outer mansion. All important resources are in the inner mansion. But the inner mansion, they can't enter. Only with the 24 pill-book silver scrolls crafted by the Tiger Demon Emperor can it be opened. Once used, the pill-book silver scroll disperses. In 50 years, 10 pill-book silver scrolls have been used. The remaining 10 have long vanished amidst a century's historic turmoil. The old woman nodded slightly. She took an object wrapped in a red cloth from her bosom. "Man conquers nature. Since you dare try, this item won't be wasted. Take it." Concubine Xianxia paused, then took it, feeling its weight. She uncovered the red cloth. What caught her eye was a silvery metal piece, shining splendidly. About palm-sized, radiating with silver light, engraved with demon race characters. What could it be if not a pill-book silver scroll? "Pill-book silver scroll?" Concubine Xianxia asked incredulously. "Clan leader, how could there be a pill-book silver scroll within our clan? Who gave it?" This pill-book silver scroll definitely didn't belong to the Silver Fox clan. Otherwise, 5 years ago when it opened, she wouldn't have sighed in regret. The old woman rasped, "A high figure from the Demon Emperor Court." Concubine Xianxia immediately became vigilant. "Which high figure? Why give our clan such a precious thing?" If a pill-book silver scroll is used correctly, it can change a clan's fate, if heavenly fate is found. The rise akin to the past Demon Emperor could reoccur. There could appear a second Demon Emperor in the demon race. The old woman's eyes were calm and deep. "No need to worry, he bears no malice towards us. Of course, he bears no particular goodwill either. Just take it and use it." Concubine Xianxia thought it over, then earnestly tucked it into her bosom with excitement. This isn't just a pill-book silver scroll. It's also her hope for a second attempt to reach nascent soul. Cough, cough. The old woman suddenly coughed violently, and a trace of fresh blood was expelled. Concubine Xianxia's expression changed. She said, "Please wait, clan leader. I'll go get the medicine from your room now." She quickly left. The old woman watched her figure disappear into the distance. She slowly turned her head, observing the air beside her, rasping, "Now, it's time for us to have a talk, young man." Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. After a moment's silence, he reluctantly removed the turtle breath cloak. With a faint, wry smile, he said, "Senior, you have sharp eyes. Did you see through my concealment here from the start?" For some reason, the old woman's eyes gave him a feeling of being completely exposed. It felt as if she saw right through him. The old woman chuckled hoarsely. "Do I still need to see? I knew when you arrived yesterday." "What?" Jiang Fan's pupils contracted. They thought they had hidden here without leaving a trace. In fact, the Silver Fox clan chief had known all along. He looked bewildered. "Then why didn't you capture us? This is the forbidden territory of your Silver Fox clan. Outsiders are prohibited from entering." The old woman said indifferently, "We have never prohibited outsiders from entering. It's just that no outsider has ever gained the trust of our clan members to be brought here. You should be the first. I guess you saved Xiaoya's life." Jiang Fan felt a chill in his heart. This Silver Fox clan chief is indeed a wise person. He quickly pulled himself together and responded, "Yes. We encountered people from the Jiangshan first-class building, and by a stroke of luck managed to save people from their grasp. Unfortunately, it was dangerous along the way, and only managed to bring Xiaoya back successfully. The other two clan members died en route." The old woman looked at Jiang Fan with a meaningful gaze. "By a stroke of luck, let's say that's the case." Clearly, she guessed that Jiang Fan saving the three clan members wasn't in the straightforward sense of rescue. It's highly likely he killed people from the Jiangshan first-class building. But she didn't point it out. She nodded slightly. "This old woman is the Silver Fox clan chief, Zhu Yinzhu, and on behalf of the Silver Fox clan, I thank young Master Jiang." "Hey." Jiang Fan was taken aback. "You know me?" Zhu Yinzhu shook her head slightly. "I don't know you. But I know the Sea Charm Demon King. If she personally guards someone, it can only be the recently renowned Jiang Fan of the human clan, right? However, the Sea Charm Demon King doesn't seem to be guarding you. Rather, you seem like master and servant. You as the master, she as the servant." Jiang Fan's pupils shrank once more. What a sharp insight. The relationship between him and Sea Charm was so easily seen through. His expression became uncertain. After a moment, he regained his calm. Zhu Yinzhu chuckled hoarsely. "Why haven't you acted? Your secret being discovered, you should be silencing witnesses, right?" Jiang Fan cupped his hands and said, "Since Senior Zhu candidly mentioned it, either you have absolute strength and are not afraid of me silencing witnesses, or you mean no harm. Therefore, there's no need to act." Zhu Yinzhu nodded slightly, showing a sign of approval. As expected of the man who took advantage of Xianxia, quite smart. "This old woman enjoys talking to someone like you." At this moment, concubine Xianxia came in with a medicine jar. She saw Zhu Yinzhu and Jiang Fan talking at a glance, and her heart sank instantly. She was ashamed, wishing for the earth to swallow her up. She lowered her head and said, "Clan leader, I'm sorry Xianxia has shamed you and the Fox Demon clan." With Jiang Fan discovered, there's no need for any explanations. She could already imagine the disappointment on the clan leader's face at this moment. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched as he said, "Enough. When you came to my room last night, Senior Zhu was aware." "Ah," concubine Xianxia's eyes widened. "Clan leader, there's nothing impure between him and me. I unknowingly entered his room by mistake." Zhu Yinzhu waved her hand indifferently. "Shut the door. Stand aside and don't speak." Could she not know Xianxia's character? There's no need for any explanations. Jiang Fan touched his nose, feeling somewhat puzzled. "Senior, why didn't you stop it yesterday? Aren't you afraid something unpredictable might happen?" Zhu Yinzhu did not answer directly. Instead, she asked, "What do you think of Xianxia?" Jiang Fan frowned. "Her character is a bit lacking, but otherwise she's good." Concubine Xianxia was immediately annoyed upon hearing this. "You little rascal, when have I ever lost my temper that wasn't caused by you? And you have the face to say I have a bad temper. The things you did, are they even humanly possible?" She was about to speak when Zhu Yinzhu's glance silenced her. "Good will do." Zhu Yinzhu nodded slightly. "Then this old woman will give you a chance to have her. Do you want it?" Ah, concubine Xianxia was stunned. "What kind of nonsense is this?" Jiang Fan was taken aback, his mind in chaos, and said, "What is Senior saying? I don't understand." These words actually came from the Silver Fox clan chief. "Or have I misunderstood the meaning of have her?" Zhu Yinzhu said indifferently, "Sleep with her. Plain enough, right?" Jiang Fan almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. He quickly said, "Please don't joke, Senior. Sleep with concubine Xianxia. The wife of the demon emperor, that's like asking for death." Zhu Yinzhu said indifferently, "I never joke with others. Help this old woman with something. Xianxia will be yours. Whether you take her as a wife, a concubine, or just sleep with her, it's up to you." "Clan leader." Concubine Xianxia was already red with embarrassment, anxiously stomping her feet. How could the clan leader say such a thing? Not to mention she's a married woman. Even if she weren't, you shouldn't say that, right? It's too ridiculous. Jiang Fan's forehead broke out in a row of black lines, quickly stopping her, saying, "Senior, please reconsider. I have no improper thoughts about concubine Xianxia. For such matters, please find someone else." He felt ignored. Because from beginning to end, Zhu Yinzhu never asked if he had any interest in concubine Xianxia. "What's the matter? Is Xianxia not beautiful enough?" Zhu Yinzhu asked indifferently. Jiang Fan glanced at concubine Xianxia. Even though she was looking at him fiercely, it didn't affect her peerless beauty at all. Her immortal beauty is well known among both the human clan and the demon race. How dare I say she isn't beautiful? No matter how uninterested Jiang Fan was in Xianxia, he couldn't deny her striking beauty. Zhu Yinzhu continued, "Is her figure not good enough? You must have touched quite a bit last night." Jiang Fan blushed, coughed dryly, cough, cough, senior, let's not mention that. Zhu Yinzhu went on, "Do you mind that she's already someone else's wife?" Jiang Fan remained silent. If he felt anything towards concubine Xianxia, the biggest barrier would be this. Just thinking of concubine Xianxia being intimate with the demon emperor. Regardless of her beauty, Jiang Fan found it difficult to be interested. Zhu Yinzhu's brows relaxed slightly. "Then you don't have to worry. Xianxia is still intact." Jiang Fan looked at concubine Xianxia in shock, his eyes filled with disbelief. How is that possible? With concubine Xianxia's unparalleled beauty, unless the demon emperor isn't a man. How could he resist? And with the demon emperor's absolute dominance, if he desired concubine Xianxia, wouldn't she dare resist? Even if she had the courage to resist, if the demon emperor forced her, concubine Xianxia couldn't possibly preserve herself, could she? Having married the demon emperor for so many years, she's still untouched. This is too far-fetched. Concubine Xianxia was both embarrassed and annoyed by Jiang Fan's questioning gaze. "Clan leader, why did you tell him this?" Besides the clan leader, only the concubines of the demon emperor knew about this. She absolutely did not want Jiang Fan to know, yet the clan leader easily spoke to Jiang Fan about it. Zhu Yinzhu tapped her cane, signaling concubine Xianxia to be quiet. She calmly looked at Jiang Fan. "Doubt is normal. With the demon emperor's possessiveness, it's hard for anyone to believe Xianxia wasn't forced by him." Jiang Fan nodded slightly. He had a deep understanding of the demon emperor's possessiveness, especially towards his own women. He even publicly stated that if any of his women betrayed him, he would destroy their clan. Zhu Yinzhu, with no reservations, said to Jiang Fan, "The reason Xianxia can protect herself is because she took a drop of essence blood from the silver fox ancestors. That was divinity transformation realm essence blood. It merged with her bloodline. If someone forcibly merges with her, the power of that drop of essence blood can be activated. Even for the demon emperor, if he isn't killed, he'd be severely injured. Therefore, if Xianxia is unwilling, the demon emperor dares not use force." Jiang Fan was 70 to 80% convinced. He had personally seen the demon emperor trying to get close to Xianxia, only to be heartlessly rejected. The demon emperor could only seethe in anger in silence. "So, do you have any dissatisfaction with Xianxia?" Zhu Yinzhu rasped. Jiang Fan rubbed his nose and said, "Even so. She's still the demon emperor's concubine. I dare not touch her." Zhu Yinzhu nodded slowly. "Then why not just kill the demon emperor?" "Kill the demon emperor." Jiang Fan's eye twitched. For a moment, he didn't know where to start his retort, having witnessed battles between nascent soul experts. He didn't think that he could withstand even a single serious attack from the demon emperor. Besides, for a woman he has no relation with, to kill the demon emperor. Did he look like someone obsessed only with women? Moreover, coming out of the mouth of a clan leader from the demon race. It sounded truly absurd. After a moment of contemplation, Jiang Fan said, "If I don't agree, I won't be able to leave this place, right?" Knowing the secret of the Silver Fox clan, how could they easily let him go? Heh. Zhu Yinzhu chuckled hoarsely. "It wouldn't go that far. You saved my clansmen, this old woman wouldn't do something like repaying kindness with enmity." Jiang Fan was suspicious. "Aren't you afraid I'll report this to the demon emperor?" Zhu Yinzhu said. "Of course I'm afraid. However, I still have a chance to explain. Whereas you, for spending a night with a concubine he couldn't obtain, you'd have no defense." Damn. Jiang Fan widened his eyes in disbelief. No wonder she watched as concubine Xianxia accidentally entered his mansion but didn't stop her. Turns out she was waiting for this moment. If the demon emperor knew of this matter, even if Jiang Fan hid in the heavenly mechanism pavilion, he would come to kill him. As for a chance to explain, if the demon emperor was in a good mood, he might allow Jiang Fan to explain in the underworld. Truly a cunning old fox. Jiang Fan couldn't help but mutter. Zhu Yinzhu wasn't angry, and a thin smile appeared on her wrinkled old face. "So, do you want to give it a try? If by any chance you really killed the demon emperor, Xianxia would be yours." Jiang Fan curled his lips. "Senior, please stop using Xianxia as leverage. If even the demon emperor can't have her, what chance do I stand?" A vision that's unattainable. Even a dog wouldn't want it. "If there's a chance to slay the demon emperor, I will attempt it." but not for your Silver Fox clan, and certainly not for any concubine Xianxia. I will do it for my human clan." On Boundary Mountain, those fallen disciples of the Ninth Sect were vivid in Jiang Fan's memory. This blood debt the demon emperor cannot escape responsibility. Jiu Yinju smiled. "No matter your initial intention. We have reached the same goal by different paths. We are allies now. As an ally, I'll give you a small gift." She looked at concubine Xianxia. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched, quickly interjecting. "I have no interest in this violent woman. Stop using her as a bargaining chip." Concubine Xianxia could not bear it anymore, biting down her silver teeth as she said, "Besides you, who have I been violent to? You should reflect on why you're so annoying." Jiang Fan shrugged. "What makes me annoying? The first time your clan leader met me, she shared her heart's true intentions, discussing the grand enterprise of exterminating the demon emperor with me. You're the one who should reflect on yourself." "You!" Concubine Xianxia was so angry her brows furrowed upwards. If the clan leader weren't here, she would have made Jiang Fan taste an iron fist. Jiu Yinju glanced at the atypical concubine Xianxia with significance. She vaguely discerned something. She hoarsely interrupted the two's quarrel. "Young Master Jiang, you heard about the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion I mentioned earlier. No need for this old woman to further introduce it. As a gift for allies meeting, I allow you to accompany Xianxia to the inner mansion once. The pill book silver scroll allows two to enter. Bringing you alone is sufficient." Jiang Fan frowned. "The Tiger Demon Emperor's mansion doesn't hold much advantage for my human clan, right?" Jiu Yinju said calmly. "For you, maybe not, but for the sea charm. What, are you going to refuse the chance to own a demon emperor slave?" Jiang Fan was speechless. This old fox is truly a master of persuasion. If the opportunity to become a demon emperor were so easily obtainable, the demon race wouldn't have just one demon emperor. However, this also reminded him. The sea charm was already at the 9th layer of core formation perfection. If given the chance, she could attempt to break through to the demon emperor realm. Plus, he himself hid a pill book silver scroll. Perhaps he could acquire more opportunities. Why not go and take a look? "Then thank you, senior, for your kindness." "Clan leader, I don't want to go with him." Concubine Xianxia immediately objected. She wanted to escape Jiang Fan as soon as possible. How could she go with him to the Tiger Demon Emperor's inner mansion? Jiu Yinju held out her hand. "Then return the pill book silver scroll. I'll arrange for another clansman to accompany young Master Jiang instead." Only then did concubine Xianxia reluctantly relent. A pair of eyes fiercely glared at Jiang Fan. Their mutual hostility made Jiu Yinju somewhat worried. The Tiger Demon Emperor's inner mansion poses no small danger. With the two of you at each other's throats, entering together might cause a mishap and drag down the other. I think you two should get used to each other first. Get used to each other. How to get used to each other? Jiu Yinju said. You two should go to the ground and clean up the battlefield. With a group of nascent souls battling, there would be some items left behind. If you're lucky, gathering some ancient giant blood would be even better. Jiang Fan then realized. He didn't know when, but the sounds of battle on the ground had long since ceased. His heart was slightly joyful. "When did the battle end?" Jiu Yinju said. "Last midnight." "How was the battle?" Jiang Fan asked again. "Naturally, the ancient giant was defeated," Jiu Yinju casually said. "The strong ones from Taikang State came prepared. The ancient giant one-hand clapping was doomed from the start." Jiang Fan let out a long breath of relief. He was aware of the ancient giant's prowess. If left unchecked on the continent, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, to now go up and scour the battlefield. Thinking of that young monk who was searching all over the world for him to convert him to Buddhism, he shuddered with goosebumps. Those foreign nascent soul experts aren't benevolent. They might be cleaning the battlefield now. Going up now would indeed be like stealing from a tiger's mouth. Jiu Yinju propped herself on her cane and slowly stood up. With a mysterious smile, she said, "If you encounter a foreign nascent soul at this time, this old woman should congratulate you. Your great fortune has arrived." Fan showed a look of confusion. "What does this mean?" Jiu Yinju said slowly, "The nascent souls from the outer realm, they carried the ancient giant's corpse back overnight. Their trip here was solely for the ancient giant's corpse. Finally, when it came time to allocate the spoils of war, unless there's a special circumstance who would stay behind, they came for the ancient giant's corpse." Jiang Fan was taken aback, but after thinking about it, it made sense again. There's always someone willing to kill, but no one is willing to do a losing business. So many nascent soul experts, crossing the vast sea, expending energy, mana, and even various spirit pills and magical treasures at no small cost. It can't be driven purely by a sense of justice, right? There must be huge profits driving their actions. What use does the ancient giant's corpse have? Jiang Fan asked curiously. To think it could attract so many nascent soul experts, daring to take risks just to kill the ancient giant. Jiu Yinju's eyes showed a trace of envy, to exchange for treasures. The great battle of ancient times might be over, but remnants of ancient giants persist here and there. Thus, sages from various clans established the Qinshan Bureau everywhere. The Qinshan Bureau issues bounty missions throughout the year. The content is to hunt ancient giant remnants. Qinshan Bureau. Jiang Fan's eyes and ears were refreshed. Rubbing his chin, he said, to attract a swarm of nascent soul experts, the bounties must be astonishing, right? Jiu Yinju said. Decades ago, a core formation 9th layer martial artist who got incredibly lucky brought back a half-dead ancient giant to claim the reward. A month later, people began to respectfully call him a master. Ah. Jiang Fan and concubine Xianxia were both stunned. An ancient giant's corpse led to a breakthrough to nascent soul? Jiang Fan was immediately parched and dry-mouthed. An ancient giant is worth so much. It's unimaginably valuable. So you understand why those outer realm nascent souls are rushing back to claim their rewards, Jiu Yinju said. The Qinshan Bureau's rewards are irresistible to nascent soul experts. If there are any nascent soul experts still on the ground now, there's only one possibility. They are injured, very severely injured, unable to leave even if they wanted to. Jiang Fan suddenly understood. No wonder Jiu Yinju said encountering outer realm nascent souls was a great opportunity. Any who remain and haven't left are severely injured and near-death nascent souls. If one can wait until they perish and collect the magical treasures from their bodies, just thinking about it is enough to make one's blood surge with excitement. Concubine Xianxia's eyes showed a burning look, saying, "Then what are we waiting for?" She decisively took action. Jiang Fan pondered for a moment and said, "Senior Jiu, when the sea charm wakes up, have her come find me." The Demon Emperor scale on the Sea Charm Demon King can be very useful in critical moments. After speaking, he also decisively left. The two reached the surface, surprisingly no longer at odds. Concubine Xianxia said, "You and I will act separately. Do not exceed a distance of 1,000 zhang. If you are in danger, I will rescue you in time. If I'm in danger, I trouble you to use that thunder and lightning divine power to take me away." At a moment even concubine Xianxia finds dangerous. That means encountering an unstoppable existence. Jiang Fan nodded. This woman loves throwing tantrums when there's nothing to do, but is surprisingly reliable when something happens. The two immediately acted separately. Watching concubine Xianxia go far away, Jiang Fan immediately patted the sleeping little Qilin in his arms. "It's time to work. See where there are good things." Little Qilin sleepily opened its eyes, muttering in complaint. "Can't you let me sleep a little longer? Even cows and horses need rest." Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. This guy, how many days has it slept and it still hasn't rested enough? Really don't know what's up with it. It's getting more and more inclined to sleep. "Less whining, get to work quickly." Little Qilin grudgingly scanned the surroundings and couldn't help but exclaim. So many good things. Finally, it's not a pile of trash anymore. 300 zhang to the west, 1,000 zhang to the east, 800 zhang to the southwest. There are 3 excellent treasures. Especially the one 800 zhang southwest. The master must get that one. Jiang Fan immediately flashed to the position 300 zhang to the west. There was a canyon here, struck by the ancient giants club. In the mud at the edge of the canyon was a bead diffusing Buddha light. A small crack had appeared on its surface. Jiang Fan recognized it as the Buddha bead necklace on the neck of a young monk from the White Horse Temple. No one knows what kind of battles it experienced, but the Buddha bead necklace had shattered. He excitedly picked it up. The moment he touched it, the Buddha light enveloped him, causing Jiang Fan to be momentarily lost. His mind went blank, peaceful and tranquil. Mystical Buddhist chants echoed. Fortunately, his soul was strong enough to awaken in time. Just the leaked Buddha light has such power to control the mind. If one were to crush it, with the Buddha light exploding, wouldn't it compel someone to convert to Buddhism on the spot? He treasured it as he picked it up, then rushed towards the position 1,000 zhang to the east without delay. Here, the ground was charred black. More than a dozen torn corpses lay here and there, emanating an astonishing amount of yin qi. Yin corpses? Core formation 9th layer perfection yin corpses? Jiang Fan was slightly surprised. These were different from Wang Qingxiao's yin corpses. They were all core formation 9th layer perfection, and even though their battle strength was somewhat diminished, it was still around the 9th layer of core formation. The key was there were so many of these yin corpses. He turned over all the yin corpses on the ground, cleaned them up a bit, and found 6 that could still be used. Immediately tried activating the yin corpse refining technique from the Iron Man's collection. One by one, he imprinted marks on the bodies of the ready yin corpses. He felt a sense of connection between minds. He decisively put all the yin corpses into the space storage device, then flashed and moved 800 Jiang southwest. Along the way, he found many fragments of spiritual artifacts, shattered jade talismans, and various remnants of defensive armor. The materials alone were worth a fortune. But Jiang Fan had no time to bother with them. He quickly rushed to the most important spot mentioned by the little Qilin. Hundreds of Jiang apart, he saw what the little Qilin described. His pupils couldn't help but contract. He saw a 5 Jiang tall, blood-stained wolf fang club thrust into the ground. This was the weapon of the ancient giant, once crushed countless nascent soul experts with its immense power. Its level was no less than a human clan's spiritual artifact. Jiang Fan's eyes burned with desire. This was definitely a great treasure, but he immediately calmed down. No, of course. Those outer realm nascent souls, no matter how eager to go back and divide the ancient giant's corpse. They wouldn't just leave the Wolf Fang Club behind, would they? Why didn't they take it? Could it be that there was danger inherent in the Wolf Fang Club? It would be great if there was someone to test it out first. Jiang Fan rubbed his chin. He somewhat missed the pleasant cooperation with Wu Manyu. It would be great if she were here. Just when he was considering whether to control a few yin corpses to test it out. Out of the blue, he detected a familiar trace of yin qi. Wang Chengxiao. Jiang Fan's gaze shifted and he decisively donned the turtle breath cloak to conceal the blood aura on his body. He also hid near a piece of land stained with nascent soul blood, just as he hid. He heard Wang Chengxiao's familiar, enthusiastic voice. Brother Zhang, I wasn't lying to you. If that's not the ancient giant's Wolf Fang Club, then what is it? Wang Chengxiao approached alongside 3 disciples of the Outer Realm Divine Sect in dark uniforms. The aura of the 3 disciples from the Outer Realm Divine Sect was extremely powerful. Among them, the disciple surnamed Zhang had even reached the 9th layer of core formation realm. His gaze contained tangible power. With a sweep, the air trembled. He faintly had the skill of Fang Teiji from before. It truly is the Wolf Fang Club of the ancient giant. Senior brother Zhang took a deep breath. The elder ordered us to stay and clean up the battlefield, but didn't mention that such a treasure was left on the battlefield. However, Brother Wang, why didn't you take it yourself but instead contacted us to get the treasure together? Soon, senior brother Zhang squinted, questioning suspiciously. Wang Chengxiao appeared sincere. Naturally, it's because this Wolf Fang Club is dangerous, and my strength alone is insufficient, so I invited everyone from the Heaven and Sea Pavilion. Otherwise, I would have taken it quietly. Senior brother Zhang slightly nodded, putting down a lot of his guard. You're honest at least. This Wolf Fang Club has smashed several spiritual artifacts. Even nascent soul seniors have not taken it, showing it is quite dangerous. If you dared to hide this fact and trick us into taking it, you'd already be a corpse. Wang Chengxiao frowned slightly. Senior brother Zhang, you're overthinking. Though I, Wang Chengxiao, practice the path of the yin corpse, I always conduct myself openly and honestly. Please don't underestimate Wang. He looked righteous. The 3 disciples from the Heaven and Sea Pavilion showed a hint of unease. Senior brother Zhang quickly put on a slight smile. Brother Wang, you misunderstood. Senior brother didn't mean that. It's just that being outside, one inevitably keeps a high level of vigilance. If I've caused Brother Wang any displeasure, I apologize. Wang Chengxiao's expression softened a bit. He waved his hand dismissively. No need to apologize. You make me seem petty. Let's discuss the ownership of this Wolf Fang Club first, shall we? There's only one, but there are 4 of us. Senior brother Zhang's eyes flickered. Said, Brother Wang, what's your opinion? Wang Chengxiao pondered. How about this? If the Wolf Fang Club goes to me, I will give the 3 of you enough compensation. No one fights, no one grabs, everyone benefits peacefully. No need to risk dying for it. Jiang Fan, hiding in the shadows, twitched the corner of his eye. The dialogue sounded so familiar. Upon hearing this, he already confirmed that Wang Chengxiao was planning to trap them again. This time aiming to do them in. Thinking of this, Jiang Fan's lips curled into a slight smile, patiently watching Wang Chengxiao perform. Senior brother Zhang slightly nodded. With Brother Wang's honesty, what else is there to say? Agreed. Later, Brother Wang will have the first choice of the Wolf Fang Club. But if the compensation you offer is disagreed upon by others, the next person will get the Wolf Fang Club and compensate everyone else. And so forth, whoever offers the most compensation in the end gets the Wolf Fang Club. Wang Xianxia responded without hesitation. No problem. Let's act quickly then. We're not the only sect disciples left to clean up the battlefield. If they discover the Wolf Fang Club, things will get complicated. Senior brother Zhang's expression became solemn, saying, "You two junior brothers, prepare to act. Don't be careless, retreat immediately if something seems amiss, do not be greedy. Brother Wang, since our strengths are slightly higher, will lead the way." Not pulling Wang Xianxia along, he wouldn't feel assured. Wang Xianxia nodded. "Let's go." He moved first, swiftly approaching the Wolf Fang Club. Seeing this, senior brother Zhang felt a little relieved and followed closely behind. Soon, the four were in front of the Wolf Fang Club. "Let's work together to pull it out," Wang Xianxia said. "If anything seems off, retreat immediately," senior brother Zhang nodded. Thus, the four of them successively grasped the handle of the Wolf Fang Club, exerting force together. With a rumble, the Wolf Fang Club was pulled out from the earth. And at this moment, a sudden change occurred. From within the Wolf Fang Club came an ancient giant's roar. It shook the four of them apart, turned around, and swung ferociously at them. Senior brother Zhang was horrified, exclaiming, "There's still an unfinished strike within the Wolf Fang Club. Scatter and run." He finally understood why even nascent soul seniors dared not take this treasure. Whoever touches the Wolf Fang Club must endure a strike from it. This is a strike from the nascent soul middle stage. Who dares to withstand it? Somewhat fortunate was, at that moment they were four. If they scatter, the Wolf Fang Club can only choose to attack one of them. It's just a matter of who gets unlucky. However, as the three were about to retreat, from beneath the ground surrounding the Wolf Fang Club, several yin corpses suddenly sprang forth. They grabbed the three men's feet. Under normal circumstances, they could shake them off. Mere yin corpses couldn't do much to them. But in the face of a nascent soul middle stage strike, there was no room for hesitation. "Wang Xianxia, you set us up." These yin corpses were planted in advance by Wang Xianxia, just to trap them and make them take the Wolf Fang Club strike. Wang Xianxia shrugged, waved with an evil smile. "Good luck, my three senior brothers." Immediately crushed a piece of untouched jade. A burst of green light exploded, wrapping him within, instantly disappearing without a trace. The Wolf Fang Club ultimately locked onto senior brother Zhang and the other two, with a booming fall. "No!" Senior brother Zhang's shout was drowned out by the earth-shattering blast. The ground quaked violently. A gorge was carved out of thin air. The Wolf Fang Club expended its last strike, then fell powerless to the ground. At this point, smoke and dust billowed, yet a transparent figure emerged through the dust to the front of the Wolf Fang Club. It was Jiang Fan. He smiled slightly, took out the Heavenly Thunder Stone, and with a gentle tap on the Wolf Fang Club, took it. Then he looked towards senior brother Zhang and the three others. The other two had already perished completely. Senior brother Zhang was left with only half his body, his face frozen in anger, eyes open wide in death. The ninth layer of core formation gone just like that. Jiang Fan showed a hint of regret. He subtly reminded himself to be more cautious in the future. If someone as strong and cautious as senior brother Zhang ended up this way, all the more reason for him to be careful, using the dust. He slipped away quietly. Soon after, the dust settled. Wang Xianxia cautiously approached from a distance, only daring to come closer after confirming from afar that senior brother Zhang was indeed dead. "Heh, senior brother Zhang, my apologies. Next year on this day I will burn extra incense for you. I'll take good care of this Wolf Fang Club for you. Wait a moment." "Where's the Wolf Fang Club?" Wang Xianxia's expression froze. He spun in place once, scanning around. "Something's not right. Where's the Wolf Fang Club?" The surroundings were empty, not a shadow of the Wolf Fang Club in sight. Suddenly, his eyes focused, noticing a fresh set of footprints where the Wolf Fang Club was. In an instant, he realized someone played the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. He'd done all the hard work and just handed the clothes to someone else. "Damn it!" Wang Xianxia stomped and cursed. "While I risked my life, you reaped the benefits from behind. You have no sense of honor. No sense of honor at all. I curse you to have 8 kids at once. All sons." The completely vanished Jiang Fan was happily inspecting his gains, out of nowhere. He heard a faint cry of alarm. It was concubine Xianxia's voice. Was she in danger? Jiang Fan's heart tightened. The two had agreed that if either was in danger, they would rescue each other. Within this, concubine Xianxia played a small trick. The danger Jiang Fan faced might not be a danger to concubine Xianxia, but the danger that concubine Xianxia encountered was even more perilous for Jiang Fan. After a brief consideration, he decisively used cloud shadow, slicing through the sky for 1,000 feet, and appeared at the place where concubine Xianxia was located. This place was the backside of a mountain range. She stood on a rocky mountainside, looking at the object in front of her with both surprise and joy. It was a finger, a gigantic finger taller than a human. The skin was pale green, and the nails were like steel blades. If not belonging to an ancient giant, then whose could it be? Jiang Fan exhaled slightly, leaped across, and said speechlessly, "Making a fuss over nothing. I thought something happened to you." Concubine Xianxia gave him an annoyed glance. "Just testing whether you would really come to my rescue. You've passed. If you encounter danger later, I'll save you too." This woman. Jiang Fan was speechless. He looked at the severed finger of the ancient giant in front of him and surveyed the surroundings. "Why didn't you put it away? Are you worried that there's danger? So you called me to share the risk?" Concubine Xianxia nodded. "That's right. Would such good fortune really fall to you?" Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. "Some things are better left unspoken. There's no need to be so blunt, right?" Surveying the area, there was nothing unusual. His gaze finally settled on the severed finger. Upon closer inspection, Jiang Fan squinted slightly. "It seems there's a hollow under this severed finger." Vaguely, he glimpsed a dark crevice. No wonder concubine Xianxia had hesitated to take the item. Why did the severed finger have to fall right over a cave entrance? It looked like a deliberate mark. "Step back a bit and we'll find out." Jiang Fan retreated behind a large, distant rock. He released a yin corpse at the 9th layer of core formation. Concubine Xianxia's brows arched, unable to resist muttering. "This guy yet another new trick. How many tricks does he have to prepare?" Recalling the endless tricks Jiang Fan used against her before, she felt a chill across her scalp. Luckily, they were allies now, and these tricks wouldn't be used against her. Seeing the yin corpse take action, she also found a hiding spot to observe secretly. The yin corpse acted swiftly. In no time, it reached the severed finger. With both hands, it hugged it and lifted the person-sized finger. Behind the severed finger indeed revealed a one-jang-deep cave entrance. Clearly man-made. Is someone hiding here? Just as the yin corpse was about to retreat with the severed finger, suddenly, a swath of snow-white silk thread flew inexplicably from the cave. Entangling the yin corpse, it pulled it into the cave. Hiss! Jiang Fan's pupils contracted. Wasn't that snow-white silk thread calming lotus silk? And that silk belongs to Green Crane Master. "Yin corpse! 1,000 corpses master! Is that you?" A hoarse voice of Green Crane Master came from the cave. "No, who's outside the cave?" Green Crane Master immediately realized that it was not the real 1,000 corpses master who acted. He shouted authoritatively. Jiang Fan's pupils shook, and upon seeing concubine Xianxia, her expression also changed dramatically. There really was a nascent soul expert lingering here? Moreover, he was likely heavily injured. Otherwise, he wouldn't be hiding here. The two exchanged a knowing glance, wisely preparing to retreat. Jiu Yinju said that encountering such a nascent soul expert is a great opportunity. But the premise is, only after he dies can the opportunity be seized. Otherwise, even a heavily injured nascent soul expert is still a nascent soul. Challenging the might of a nascent soul will end badly. "Is it you, concubine Xianxia?" For some reason, Green Crane Master actually sensed concubine Xianxia's presence. Concubine Xianxia's charming face changed. She took out a strand of calming lotus silk from her bosom. This strand of silk seemed to come alive, twisting continuously in her palm. Green Crane Master recognized concubine Xianxia through this. Concubine Xianxia's gaze flickered for a moment. She gave Jiang Fan a look indicating to stay put, and she revealed herself. "Xianxia greets Green Crane Master. I was unaware of your presence here and have disturbed you. I'll take my leave now." "Hold on," Green Crane Master called out, stopping concubine Xianxia, and said, "My disciple is injured. Do you have any healing pills on you? Or heavenly materials and earthly treasures would also suffice." "Disciple, it's you yourself, right?" Concubine Xianxia's mind was as clear as a mirror, but she dared not expose it. She replied respectfully, "Replying Master, my demon race does not typically carry human clans' pills. Heavenly materials and earthly treasures are mostly for cultivation, not for healing." Jiang Fan understood. Why does Green Crane Master hide here and intentionally use an ancient giant's severed finger as bait? He meant to lure disciples of the Outer Realm divine sect. to seize their healing spirit pills. But why hide? Even if injured with his nascent soul realm, capturing a few disciples of the outer realm divine sect should be a breeze. Who's he hiding from? Jiang Fan's eyes flickered slightly. A disappointed sound came from the cave. You don't have any, could I trouble you to fetch some? Once done, I'll gift you the calming lotus silk, assuring you a drive of all evil chi. Concubine Xianxia showed a joyful expression and said, All right, Xianxia will seek it for Master now. Please remain calm, Master. Green Crane Master spoke slowly. Go swiftly and return quickly. Concubine Xianxia immediately turned and soared into the distance. But, at the moment of turning, a swath of snow-white silk thread shot from the cave without warning, entwining toward Concubine Xianxia. To let you expose my hiding place, how can that be? Green Crane Master issued a ruthless cold snort. But Concubine Xianxia suddenly turned around as if she had expected it. 9 tails fanned open behind her. A wave of nascent soul aura surged forth. The attacking horsetail whisk was completely repelled. It seems Senior's injuries are not light, Concubine Xianxia said coldly, to the extent that you need to ambush just a junior. She had long guarded against Green Crane Master. Having interacted with him for a while, Concubine Xianxia naturally knew Green Crane Master's character, appearing kindly and modest, in reality calculating and deep. A trace of killing intent emanated from the cave. Green Crane Master said coldly, knowing so much, all the more you must die. A little demon who failed in a tribulation. Do you think you can overturn the heavens in the hands of this master? Schwack, a chilling gleam flashed. The retreated threads of the horsetail whisk gathered into a blade, slashing instantaneously. Concubine Xianxia's face changed drastically. 9 tails blocked in front of her, attempting to fend off the strike. Splurt, but in an instant. All 9 tails were severed, blood gushing into the sky. Concubine Xianxia let out a pained groan. The gathered nascent soul aura immediately shattered. Within the 9th layer perfection, her passing through the tribulation marked her as outstanding. But before a genuine nascent soul expert, she was merely slightly stronger than an ant, core formation, and nascent soul. The two are almost different levels of beings. Even more frightening, the giant blade formed by the horsetail whisk streaked forward unabated. It was about to cleave Concubine Xianxia in two, at the critical moment. A gigantic mountain descended from the sky, crashing into the giant blade. The momentum of the giant blade paused. Jiang Fan seized the opportunity to dash out, grabbing Concubine Xianxia around the waist and swiftly retreating. Is there someone else? Green Crane Master's voice suddenly turned sinister. He was truly injured and badly at that. So much so that he couldn't even sense nearby hidden people. His desire to kill grew stronger. The giant blade quivered, shaking off the mountain-sized 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, sweeping towards the 2 in the distance. Jiang Fan's pupils contracted. This is truly a nascent soul strike. He shouted, Stop, unless you want mutual destruction. Fan, seeing him empty-handed, his eyes cold. Let's die together. You're not qualified. The giant blade swept in like a thunderbolt. Jiang Fan gritted his teeth and said, I can't kill you. But what about that nascent soul expert coveting you? SHHH, when the giant blade was about to strike them. It suddenly dissipated, along with its aura, rapidly retracting back into the cave. Green Crane Masters shouted urgently, Who told you these things? It was clear that he was very panicked and fearful. Jiang Fan calmly recalled the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain and said, Does it need to be told? With a senior's power, someone even you need to hide from. Who else could it be but a nascent soul expert? Concubine Xianxia looked at Jiang Fan in surprise. Is there another nascent soul expert on the ground? And is he searching for Green Crane Masters? Jiang Fan said helplessly. Even we know, if there's a nascent soul expert alone at this time, he must be seriously injured and unable to move. How could those other nascent soul old monsters fighting with Green Crane Masters not know? They can see the opportunities at the core formation realm. The nascent soul old monsters understand it even better. Moreover, these nascent soul old monsters fought side by side and know each other's injuries the best. Who is more injured, they all have an idea. Green Crane Masters was chased by the ancient giant for many days before receiving support from the outer realm divine sect. His wounds are probably the most severe. If among this group of nascent soul old monsters, there's coincidentally his enemy. How can they miss the chance to kill him and take his treasures? Green Crane Masters also knew he was being targeted, so he hid here, inside the cave. Green Crane Masters' gaze was uncertain. He wanted to strike, but feared causing a commotion and attracting the nascent soul expert chasing him. If he doesn't strike, his hiding place is exposed, and he would die as well. Sensing the looming danger, concubine Xianxia's body tensed. Their survival depended on Green Crane Master's decision. If he struck without regard, they could never resist it. Jiang Fan stared intently and said, "Senior, the matters between you and the other nascent soul seniors have nothing to do with us. We don't want to get involved, and we can't afford to. Let's both take a step back. We won't reveal your whereabouts, and you avoid drawing in enemies by avoiding a clash. How about it?" Green Crane Masters stared at Jiang Fan. After contemplating for a moment, he had no choice but to reluctantly accept the suggestion. A dignified nascent soul being threatened by a junior. How humiliating. Suppressing his anger, he said coldly, "You better keep your word. Otherwise, if I can't find you, can I not find your roots?" A chilling threat made a chill surge deep in Jiang Fan's eyes. He cupped his hands and said, "Yes, senior." Supporting the seriously injured concubine Xianxia, Jiang Fan slowly retreated. Green Crane Masters watched them leave unwillingly. The calming lotus silk shook, moving the broken finger of the ancient giant back to seal the cave entrance, waiting for the next disciple to take the bait. But just as the cave entrance was about to close, a faint teasing smile echoed from the clouds. "So you were hiding here?" Green Crane Master's body shook violently, his piercing gaze shot up, shattering the clouds, revealing the figure hidden within the clouds. It was a middle-aged scholar draped in a robe with an embroidered landscape map on his back. His face had a faint smile hovering high in the air. "Jiangshan first-class building Yan Dao'an," Green Crane Masters said with emphasis. "Why haven't you left?" Yan Dao'an slowly descended. Glancing at Jiang Fan and concubine Xianxia, who had retreated to a distance, he showed a friendly expression. "The 2 guest elders and more than a dozen building members I brought were buried here. I'm searching for their whereabouts. What luck, couldn't find them but ran into you." From a distance, Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. "Is that person Yan Dao'an?" The Yi Feng under his command and several building members all died at his hands. Especially Yi Feng, who was killed despite Yan Dao'an's order to stop him. Concubine Xianxia's heart also started to race, feeling rather guilty, because the other half died at her hands. Both felt guilty of their wrongdoings, quietly retreating further away. Yan Dao'an noticed them. Without turning his head, he said, "The man can go. That woman, you're from the Silver Fox clan, aren't you? Such a beautiful Silver Fox clan member is rare to see. You stay, this deputy building master will take you to a nice place." Concubine Xianxia's charming face turned pale. What nice place? Clearly intending to sell her as a slave, she bit her lips lightly. Staying put, she dared not act rashly. Otherwise, if the other party dealt with her first, there would be no escape. Seeing concubine Xianxia being sensible, Yan Dao'an withdrew the mass of black energy in his palm. If she was disobedient, he wouldn't mind beating her half to death. He focused on dealing with Green Crane Masters. Landing before the cave with a smile, "Kinghold monster, you're rather injured. Do you need the help of this deputy building master? I have plenty of top-grade healing spirit pills here if you want them, just ask. No need to trap some disciples." "What good pills could they have?" Green Crane Masters became alert, saying in a deep voice, "Deputy Building Master Yan, I've never wronged you. If you want what's on me, I can give it to you. Just let me go. I can swear by the heavens I'll never trouble you in the future. How about it?" In front of a peer. Green Crane Masters knew it was impossible to conceal his injuries, might as well speak openly. Yan Dao'an smiled slightly. "Green Crane Masters are jesting. A living nascent soul is worth more than the things on you. I'm a businessman. I can't ignore the bigger prize for the smaller one." Green Crane Masters became angry. "Yan Dao'an, haven't you heard not to chase a desperate enemy? If you're targeting me, you'd better consider how much loss you can afford." Yan Dao'an squinted his eyes and said faintly, "Even 2 juniors can hold you in check. How could this deputy building master possibly lose out?" Before he finished his words, he suddenly moved. A giant python formed of black mist flew from his sleeve, suddenly diving into the cave, biting Green Crane Masters. Its body quickly coiled around him, aiming to capture him alive. HMPH! Even a merchant association's loose cultivator dares to show off before a 10,000 tribulations holy temple elder. Green Crane Master's expression turned slightly cold. Lightning surged throughout his body. He shouted, "Heavenly Thunder 6 parts undying blade!" Boom! A 1,000-meter thunder blade splitting the heavens crashed down. Crack! The mountain where Green Crane Masters hid was split open by a gorge. The black mist python coiled around his body was shattered the moment the thunder blade appeared. The 1,000-meter thunder blade showed no signs of stopping, fiercely slashing toward Yan Dao'an. Yan Dao'an's face changed dramatically. He quickly took out a spiritual pressure disc, not weak, and tossed it above his head. Boom! The thunder blade descended, cutting the land, making the ravines stretch. Countless thunder arcs swept around like a storm, turning the earth charred black. Jiang Fan's face changed. He hurriedly operated thunder and lightning, carving out a safe zone around. Only then did the thunder arc storm go around them. Otherwise, they'd both be burned to a crisp by the thunder arc. Concubine Xianxia broke out in a cold sweat, trembling. "He's not injured." Jiang Fan looked at the human figure wrapped in lightning midway up the mountain. His gaze was incredibly grave. The disc above Yan Dao'an's head was densely cracked. It was just a hair's breadth away from being shattered by the thunder blade. He took a deep breath and said solemnly, "You are not injured." Masters held the horsetail whisk, their robe billowing wildly. Their eyes flickered with terrifying lightning. A hint of mockery appeared at the corner of their mouth. "I'm injured, and quite seriously injured at that. Deputy Building Master Yan, weren't there plenty of spirit pills you wanted to give me?" Yan Dao'an's expression was grave. The Green Crane Masters were nascent soul experts with a lineage. At their peak, how could someone like him, a loose cultivator, compare? He immediately soared into the sky, escaping into the clouds. "Trying to leave?" The Green Crane Masters sneered, riding a purple lightning to pursue, in the blink of an eye. The heavens were filled with destructive flashes of light. Strands of terrifying nascent soul aura descended from the sky. Jiang Fan was in awe. He shouted lowly, "Go!" He grabbed concubine Xianxia and fled into the distance. The battle at this level of power, even the slightest aftermath, could be deadly. They fled 10,000 feet away. The sky faintly echoed with Yan Dao'an's furious shout, "Green Crane Masters! Jiangshan First-Class Building will remember this debt." The sounds of battle quickly ceased. Jiang Fan couldn't help but curse under his breath. Useless guy, already fled. He was hoping for Yan Dao'an to have a life-and-death struggle with the Green Crane Masters. And this was the result. Where was that gutsy momentum from earlier? What worried him even more was a terrifying nascent soul aura enveloped them, with a shhh sound. The Green Crane Masters rode the purple cloud thunder, blocking their path. They suppressed all the lightning on their body and stared coldly at Jiang Fan. Hiss. Just being stared at by that gaze made Jiang Fan feel a sharp pain all over his body. He forcibly calmed his wildly beating heart and cupped his hands. "Senior, what orders do you have?" The Green Crane Masters averted their eyes, silently staring at the direction where Yan Dao'an had left. Only after a long time, when there was completely no trace of Yan Dao'an's aura, did the Green Crane Masters turn around, looking at Jiang Fan with murderous intent. "You were threatening me just now?" "Is this settling accounts afterward?" Jiang Fan's heart pounded at this moment. Concubine Xianxia in Jiang Fan's embrace suddenly wrote the character hand on his back. Hand? Jiang Fan was surprised. His gaze inadvertently caught a glance at the Green Crane Master's hand. He unexpectedly discovered their hand was trembling. "Huh." Jiang Fan's eyes flickered and he immediately said, "Junior wouldn't dare. Junior only wishes to preserve his life." Meanwhile, he quietly activated the mute Zen bead and communicated secretly with concubine Xianxia using divine sense. The Green Crane Masters are indeed injured. They must have used a secret technique to forcibly sustain themselves. Now they're rapidly weakening. Concubine Xianxia, accustomed to Jiang Fan's sudden mental intrusion, agreed. That should be the case. If he were truly in peak condition, how could he have been threatened by us just now? With a simple move, he could kill us. If we delay a little, he will weaken soon. Jiang Fan said intensely, "There's no time. That Yan Dao'an will soon react. Someone as cautious as the Green Crane Masters wouldn't overlook this. He will certainly kill us swiftly and then hide elsewhere." Sure enough, just as Jiang Fan finished transmitting, the Green Crane Master's eyes flashed with murder. Jiang Fan's heart pounded and he quickly said, "Senior, wait. Junior knows a very safe place. Yan Dao'an won't go searching there." The Green Crane Masters snorted coldly. "Why should I believe you?" Jiang Fan replied, "Because our lives are in your hands, Senior." "How could we dare to deceive you?" The Green Crane Masters hesitated. They didn't quite believe the two of them. "Senior, Deputy Building Master Yan should be back soon. Hesitating any longer would be too late." The Green Crane Master's face tensed, slightly gritting their teeth. "Lead the way." "If you dare lie to me, I'll make sure you can't live nor die." Jiang Fan nodded. 5,000 feet to the southeast. The green crane masters gripped each of their shoulders. At once they rode the purple lightning. After 5 consecutive flashes, they barely leaped 5,000 feet. Jiang Fan understood in his heart. The green crane masters had also trained the heavenly thunder 6 parts, cloud shadow, technique to the second layer, able to traverse 1,000 feet in a single thought. However, their power of thunder and lightning was much more substantial than Jiang Fan's. Carrying 2 people did not affect the distance at all. Where is it? The green crane masters surveyed the surroundings. Jiang Fan pointed to a pile of rocks, saying, "This is the entrance to a secret realm. It requires a special method of the demon race to open it. However, for Senior it shouldn't be difficult." The green crane masters glanced around. With a squint, they discovered the gateway and immediately reached out a hand to forcibly open the entrance. Their eyes lit up slightly. "This place still has such a location. Let's go." They decisively dragged the 2 into it. Before long, they arrived at the bottom of the secret realm, looking at the bodies of Jiangshan first-class buildings personnel scattered around. The green crane masters gave Jiang Fan a suspicious glance. Could it be the people Dao'an was looking for were all slain by you here? Jiang Fan switched topics. "Senior, is this place considered safe?" The green crane masters cast a glance at Jiang Fan. Caring little if these people were killed by Jiang Fan or not, they surveyed the area. Upon noticing a cracked rift above, they immediately used their power to draw large stones to block the crack. Thus, the secret realm was completely hidden away. Even if Dao'an searched high and low, he wouldn't find such a deeply concealed underground secret realm. They showed a satisfied expression. Considered safe. Their aura had dropped significantly compared to just now. "What is this place?" They looked around and naturally noticed the ancient array surrounding the area, showing slight surprise on their face. Concubine Xianxia replied, "Reporting to Senior, this is our clan's secret realm." The green crane masters showed a surprised expression. "This array has been operating for at least 1,000 years. Is there any significance to this place?" Looking at the empty chamber, they appeared puzzled. Such an impressive array couldn't have been set up for no reason. Concubine Xianxia indeed had no knowledge of this, saying, "Junior is not aware. This array occasionally produces demonic aura. It's a secret realm for elite cultivation of our clan." The green crane masters shook their heads slightly. "Not right. This place must have more mysteries. It wouldn't just produce some demonic aura so simply." They were somewhat curious and wanted to explore this secret realm, however, considering it might cause a disturbance and be discovered by Dao'an. They temporarily suppressed the urge, slowly turning to look at Jiang Fan and Concubine Xianxia. Both of them tensed up immediately. Concubine Xianxia said in her mind with a steady voice, "He's about to make a move." Jiang Fan's eyes turned cold. "Hide behind me." Concubine Xianxia was taken aback. It was the first time in her life a man had said such words to her. Gazing at Jiang Fan's serious profile, she suddenly felt that Jiang Fan wasn't so detestable after all. On the contrary, as an ally, he was actually quite reliable. "Does hiding work? Prepare to fight to the death. If he kills us, he should be ready to lose a chunk of flesh too," Concubine Xianxia calmly responded. Jiang Fan nodded, took a deep breath, ready for a desperate fight. The green crane masters narrowed their eyes slightly. As if recalling something, the burst of killing intent was temporarily suppressed, saying, "Let me see your 5-colored small mountain." 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. Concubine Xianxia immediately reminded, "Don't be fooled. He never intended to spare us. He just wants to trick your magical treasure away first to reduce the threat. Then kill us easily in the end." Jiang Fan naturally saw through the green crane master's intentions. But when his peripheral vision caught the purple array's focal point, a thought came to his mind. At the same time, he brought out the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain and the broken hairpin. "Senior, the items can be yours. I only ask you to spare our lives. I can teach you how to use both items without reservation." Oh, the green crane masters immediately noticed the hairpin. His eyes flashed brilliantly. He first picked up the hairpin. After examining it closely, surprise flickered in his eyes. Where did this come from? Skirt with his experience, he naturally saw the extraordinary nature of the hairpin. Within the pin, there was a force that even made him feel palpitations. Where did Jiang Fan get such a thing? Suddenly, he seemed to sense something and suddenly looked up. He discovered Jiang Fan had already quietly taken Concubine Xianxia to the center of the array. "What are you doing? Come over." Jiang Fan dared not stop. Life and death were hanging by a thread. Decisively, he picked up the purple array stone and shifted it away. Rumble! The array immediately stopped operating. Green Crane Masters didn't know what would happen, but vaguely sensed something was wrong. No time to care for the 5 magnetic Yuan Mountain in Jiang Fan's hand. Decisively, he pulled out the horsetail whisk, delivering a fatal blow to Jiang Fan. However, before he could strike, the ground subsided. A crack appeared in the underground chamber. The blood-dyed dress instantly slipped out. Without hesitation, it angrily lunged at Jiang Fan, letting out a hair-raising shriek, but soon sensed the existence of the broken hairpin, and then turned to attack Green Crane Masters. Its speed was extremely fast, far surpassing the nascent Soul Realm. In an instant, it flew in front of Green Crane Masters, entangling him. What kind of fiendish thing is this? Green Crane Masters was also shocked by its aura. The horsetail whisk aimed at Jiang Fan changed direction to strike the blood dress. A decimating strike, capable of shattering mountains and cracking the earth. But when hitting the blood dress, it was like striking a mass of cotton. The blood dress took the opportunity to wrap his arm. His Green Crane Masters immediately sensed intense pain. Immediately, he unleashed a powerful power of thunder and lightning, with a boom blasting it away, looking at his arm again. In just a moment, the arm had shriveled. This left Green Crane Masters astonished. The blood dress was blasted with blood mist steaming and shrieking by the powerful power of thunder and lightning, but still fearlessly lunged at Green Crane Masters. No choice. Green Crane Masters could only use the thunder and lightning divine power, engaging in a fierce battle with it. The initiator, Jiang Fan, had long since dragged concubine Xianxia to hide in a corner. Why is the blood dress only attacking Green Crane Masters? Concubine Xianxia looked at the extremely dangerous blood dress, secretly alarmed. This thing can actually match Green Crane Masters, strictly speaking. If Green Crane Masters wasn't proficient in thunder and lightning divine power, restraining the blood dress, he might have been drained by the blood dress long ago. Jiang Fan transmitted his voice into her mind. That hairpin belongs to the blood dress. With a flash in his eyes, Jiang Fan said, "Did you pick up any useful treasures on the battlefield? I reckon the blood dress might not handle Green Crane Masters. We need to help it." Concubine Xianxia's lips curled slightly. As if waiting for Jiang Fan to ask, she said, "I've been lucky. Picked up quite a few treasures." She shook her sleeve. 7 or 8 broken talismans and fragments of spiritual artifacts fell out. These have all been checked by me, still containing a hint of power. Could sell for a good price. What about you? She glanced at Jiang Fan, a hint of pride evident. Jiang Fan rubbed his nose. These weren't they the scraps he didn't want? How did concubine Xianxia treat them as treasures and pick them all up? Just 2 or 3 pieces, not as many as you. Jiang Fan replied vaguely, just 2 or 3 pieces. Concubine Xianxia showed a trace of a smile. Finally got the upper hand on Jiang Fan. It's truly not easy to win against this guy in some aspect. She nodded and said, "Use these things when you see fit. They're all human clan items, I can't use them. But take care, these are hard-won treasures." If not for survival, she would be reluctant to take them out. Jiang Fan sighed helplessly. What use are these pieces? To scratch an itch for Green Crane Masters. I'd rather use my own. He took out a Buddha bead from the Heavenly Thunder Stone, then summoned 5 Yin Corpse experts at the 9th layer of core formation. Concubine Xianxia's expression stiffened, looking at the 5 powerful Yin Corpses, then at the clearly very powerful Buddha bead, and then at her own pile of scrap metal. Her pretty face involuntarily turned red. Quietly stretching out her small foot, she pushed the things she picked up into the corner, as if nothing had happened. At this moment, the blood dress was blasted away. Its surface blood energy mostly dissipated, parts still scorched and blackened by lightning blasts. Green Crane Masters was not in good shape either. He had originally forced his cultivation to its peak using a secret technique. Now that the secret technique was over, his cultivation was plummeting. The internal injuries inflicted by the ancient giant were resurfacing, now being forced to constantly engage by the blood dress, causing his aura to drop significantly. Seeing if he continued fighting like this, even if he won, it would be a tragic victory. Taking advantage of blasting the blood dress away, he decisively retreated. However, just as he turned around, he found the exit blocked by 5 Yin Corpses. He glared angrily at Jiang Fan in the distance. "You have such audacity!" Shouting in anger, he flicked the horsetail whisk. The 5 Yin Corpses exploded into blood mist on the spot, but in the brief delay, the blood dress caught up. He was forced to engage in battle again. planning to unleash an undying blade to blast the blood dress away. At this critical moment, a sizzle sound above his head, a bolt of lightning flashed. Cloud shadow? He was startled. Before he could understand why Jiang Fan would know the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple's secret technique. A golden Buddha bead, crushed, dropped down. How could Green Crane Masters not know the power of this object? The ancient giant was stunned by the Buddha light of a full string of these beads, experiencing a moment of distraction, and was finally besieged and killed by many nascent soul experts. Jiang Fan, you'll die. The Buddha bead erupted in vast golden Buddha light, instantly enveloping Green Crane Masters. His mind immediately fell into a harmonious, dustless tranquility. The whole person froze in place. The blood dress seized the opportunity to pounce, wrapping tightly around him, voraciously devouring his flesh. Boundless pain struck. Green Crane Masters only then awoke. In shock and anger, he unleashed the remains of his power of thunder, blasting the blood dress away. With that attack, the blood dress was blasted to near death, crumpled into a ball, lying on the ground unable to move. Green Crane Masters was equally miserable. His body dried up, like a skeleton clinging with thin skin. Already severely wounded, how could he withstand the blood dress's draining? He was immediately returned to his original form. The excruciating pain from within made his whole body tremble, and the aura he emitted was so weak it was about to fall below nascent soul. However, Jiang Fan and concubine Xianxia weren't the least bit happy. No matter how injured he was, as long as he wasn't dead, he was still a nascent soul-level existence, still possessing the ability to kill them with a flick of his wrist. Jiang Fan, Green Crane Masters shouted malevolently. How dare you plot against this old man? This old man will make you wish for life but unable to die. He gripped the horsetail whisk, channeling his remaining nascent soul power to activate it, to deliver a fatal strike to Jiang Fan. Since Jiang Fan had made his move, how could he wait to die? Soul-shocking stab. Without hesitation, he activated the soul's secret technique. Hiss, Green Crane Masters felt as if his soul was bitten by a cat. Though it couldn't cause injury, it distracted him for a moment. And Jiang Fan seized the chance. Utilizing sword control technique, he used a sword to blast open the stones, blocking the crack above his head. Then rode a purple thunderbolt, pulling concubine Xianxia up through it. Green Crane Masters laughed angrily, using the heavenly thunder 6 parts cloud shadow before this old man. Showing off before an expert. Thunder come, he shouted in a low voice. A purple thunderbolt appeared beneath his feet, expecting to catch up with Jiang Fan in an instant, but after catching up, he was greatly taken aback. Jiang Fan leaped a distance of 2,000 zhang, twice his own reach. What is the matter with your cloud shadow second layer? Why can it cross such a long distance? Green Crane Masters was incredulous. He had cultivated the second layer to perfection, and 1,000 zhang was his limit. But how could the same second layer allow Jiang Fan to leap 2,000 zhang? Momentarily startled, he grew both embarrassed and angry, his murderous intent intensifying. Good, you deserve to die even more. Whoosh, he once again activated the cloud shadow to pursue and kill. Jiang Fan's face was composed, continuously employing the cloud shadow. His thunder power was far less abundant than that of Green Crane Masters. He wouldn't last much longer. Finally, as he neared the ground, the thunder power was exhausted. Below, Green Crane Masters sneered, "Run? I want to see where you can run to." The two, having lost their thunder power, were continuously falling from the air. No need for Green Crane Masters to act, they would both fall to their deaths. Concubine Xianxia smiled bitterly. There's no escaping death then. However, to contend with a nascent soul expert for so long, to die is still a pride. She looked at Jiang Fan, revealing genuine admiration. Merely a core formation, not only contending with a nascent soul expert for so long, but also injuring him like this. Spread this tale, and no one would dare believe it. Eyeing the incoming purple thunder, concubine Xianxia resolutely let go of Jiang Fan's hand. "I'll go ahead." She painfully unfurled her yet-to-heal 9 severed tails, resolutely flying towards Green Crane Masters like a moth to the flame. However, just before falling, her soft waist was embraced by Jiang Fan. Then they soared into the sky again. On closer look, it was Jiang Fan standing on a flying sword, riding the sword through the air. Flying without a trace. Concubine Xianxia nearly dropped her jaw. Isn't this a secret technique unique to the human clan nascent souls? This guy, how many astonishing techniques does he have? Green Crane Master's face also froze, his old eyes revealing deep shock. Such strong swordsmanship. To be able to fly by sword flight? Turns out, your understanding in the sword Dao is even more remarkable than the thunder path. Even as a nascent soul expert, he felt Jiang Fan's frightening comprehension. Given time, he would surely become a hidden threat. His intent to kill grew stronger. Die! He could not wait any longer. Gathering all the thunder power within him in his palm, he bellowed, "Undying blade!" Whoosh! A thousand-jang thunder giant blade cut across the sky, fiercely slashing towards Jiang Fan at this moment. Jiang Fan had already reached the ground's edge. He shouted, "Sea Charm!" on the ground beside the crack. The Sea Charm Demon King hiding in the shadows changed her expression. She had arrived here long ago. Jiang Fan, through the evil fate necklace, also sensed her position. The two had remarkable coordination. One led Green Crane Masters to this place. The other hid beside the crack, ready to deliver a fatal strike to Green Crane Masters with the Demon Emperor's scale. But time was not on their side. She decisively leapt out. Throwing the scale towards the terrifying Thunder Blade, crunch, the scale shattered. A sky-covering beast claw collided fiercely with the Thunder Blade. The two nascent soul realms' destructive attacks clashed violently. Rumble Jiang Fan was instantly deafened, with blood pouring from his ears, followed by the dreadful shockwave from the collision. Jiang Fan felt like a leaf in a tidal wave. The next moment he would be swallowed in the nick of time. Concubine Xianxia spread her 9 tails, shielding him from behind, then embraced Jiang Fan tightly. Boom! The terrifying shockwave instantly blasted the two away. Jiang Fan's vision went black immediately. After a long while, anxious cries of "Master, Master, Master" gradually reached his ears. He slowly opened his eyes, gradually regaining consciousness. A surge of intense pain almost made him pass out again. Sweeping his gaze around, Jiang Fan gasped. His abdomen was blasted with a gaping wound, exposing the internal organs. His right leg was reduced to a blood-soaked bone, all flesh completely destroyed. Multiple fractures covered his body, some broken bones even pierced through the flesh, exposed to the air. "Master, you scared me to death." Sea Charm tearfully threw herself at him. Fearing she would hurt Jiang Fan, she gently embraced his neck. Crystalline tears slid down one by one, dropping into Jiang Fan's wounds, causing him to grimace in pain. "Did you give me a revitalizing pill?" Jiang Fan tasted it in his mouth. Sea Charm wiped her tears, nodding. Master's heartbeat had even stopped. "Luckily, I remembered you had a revitalizing pill on you." Jiang Fan clicked his tongue in amazement. Since embarking on the path of cultivation, he had never suffered such severe injuries. If not for it, he might have truly perished here. The power of the nascent soul is indeed terrifying. Suddenly, Jiang Fan hurriedly asked, "Where is concubine Xianxia?" He looked around, finding the faintly breathing concubine Xianxia lying nearby. She appeared less injured than Jiang Fan externally, but being unconscious was actually more troublesome. Jiang Fan quickly checked her pulse. His expression instantly grew heavy at a glance. "As expected, her soul is injured." Sea Charm's face changed. "Is it treatable?" Jiang Fan had a solemn expression, "Very difficult. Soul injuries are the most troublesome wounds. A 4th-grade spirit pill is needed. This level of spirit pill, just the materials, are incredibly expensive. Neither the human nor demon clans might be able to gather them." Sea Charm covered her lips in shock. "With this, isn't concubine Xianxia doomed to fall?" Recalling when she found them, concubine Xianxia in her coma had held Jiang Fan tightly in her arms. They had to use considerable force to pry her hands away. Her eyes welled up with tears. "Actually, concubine Xianxia is truly a gentle person. She simply doesn't know how to interact with Master." Jiang Fan was also deeply moved. Unexpectedly, at the moment of greatest danger, it was concubine Xianxia, who always seemed to hate him, who used her life as a shield to save him. If not for her blocking most of the shockwave, Jiang Fan wouldn't have had time to take the revitalizing pill to sustain his life. "Master, is there any way to save her?" Sea Charm asked tearfully and reluctantly. Jiang Fan lowered his head. Even more than anyone, he wanted to save concubine Xianxia, but even the cleverest cannot cook without rice. Where would he find materials the human and demon clans can't? "Wait!" Jiang Fan suddenly thought of something. A flash of light appeared in his eyes. Then a fierce glint appeared. "I almost forgot there's someone from that Taikang continent here. He might have what we need." Clang. He drew the gleaming purple sword, saying, "Help me into the secret realm." Sea Charm immediately understood that Jiang Fan intended to seize Green Crane Master's space storage device. She worried, "Master, what if he's not dead?" Jiang Fan snorted, "Don't worry. If he still had any breath left, he'd have rushed up to kill us all." Since he hasn't, it shows he's already half dead, Sea Charm nodded. She carried concubine Xianxia with one hand, supporting Jiang Fan with the other, re-entering the crevice. Currently, it could no longer be called a crevice. The clash of two nascent soul strikes had blasted it into a 1,000-Jiang crater. Even before reaching the bottom, they saw green crane masters lying on the ground, lifeless. That shockwave had indeed injured Jiang Fan, but for the already heavily injured green crane masters, how well could he fare? Master! Is he dead? Sea Charm exclaimed excitedly. A glint appeared in Jiang Fan's eyes. This old thing, cunning as fox. Just pretending to be dead might be possible. To know whether he's dead, we'll try and see. The purple sword in hand was thrown. It transformed into a sharp streak of purple light, stabbing toward the heart of the green crane masters. Just as it was about to pierce through, the green crane masters suddenly opened his eyes, grabbed the horsetail whisk, and struck the purple sword away. This move was completely devoid of the power of the nascent soul. Jiang Fan, the green crane master said angrily. He originally thought that pretending to be dead would make Jiang Fan lower his guard. Unexpectedly, this kid was crafty beyond measure. Jiang Fan said nothing. He took out the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain and smashed down fiercely. The green crane masters raised the horsetail whisk, trying to block it. But the previous strike had exhausted his last bit of strength. Unable to resist, he was immediately crushed beneath the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. The horsetail whisk in his hand slipped out. Jiang Fan captured it from afar and grabbed it in his hand. Such an important magical treasure, the green crane masters couldn't hold on to it. He truly had no strength left to struggle. This horsetail whisk was definitely a spiritual artifact, and the silk threads on it could clear away the calming lotus silk of the Nirvana tools. It was absolutely a great treasure. He immediately stored it in the space storage device. Then he landed in front of the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, gazing at the green crane masters who was suppressed and unable to move. After a quick glance, he noticed the space storage ring on his finger. After experiencing the trap from the space ring of the 6-path masters, Jiang Fan dared not take it directly. He summoned the flying sword and sliced off that finger with one strike. Ah, the green crane masters let out a heart-wrenching scream. If you want it, just take it. Why resort to violence? Jiang Fan said indifferently. What if you tampered with the space ring? He struck out with spiritual power, hitting the space storage ring. A sudden beam of blood-red light shot from the back of the ring. It pierced a large hole in the ceiling. Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat, thankful for his caution. Or else he would have been tricked for sure. What an old, cunning fox, Jiang Fan said coldly. The green crane masters felt so angry he could vomit blood. You call me crafty? He pretended to be dead and was seen through, and the trap on the space storage ring was also detected. Who was the truly cunning one? The green crane masters felt like he wasn't facing a naive youngster, but rather an old monster who's lived even longer than himself. Jiang Fan then picked up the space storage ring and snorted coldly. Will you say the unlocking incantation yourself, or should I apply some torture? The green crane masters laughed grimly. Torture a nascent soul. Which nascent soul hasn't been through countless trials? You think I can't withstand a little torture? Do you dream of taking my lifelong savings? Dream on. Jiang Fan's face remained calm. If the golden claw iron wolf wasn't afraid of torture, let alone a nascent soul expert, ordinary means would indeed struggle to subdue him. His eyes glinted. He quietly took out the ancient heart mirror and asked again, what's the incantation? The green crane masters seemed to sense something, scoffing. Spy on my soul? How naive. A nascent soul-level soul, can you really spy on it? Even if I hold fast to my mind, you can't perceive anything. Jiang Fan's expression darkened. Indeed it was. The ancient heart mirror was completely still, unable to detect any emotional fluctuations from the green crane masters. He squinted his eyes and said, hold fast to your mind, huh? So if your mind were broken, I could spy on it? The green crane masters chuckled. What, you think you can break my mind? My heart is like a rock, ordinary things can't shake me. Your disciple Lu Liang was shattered to dust by me. Jiang Fan said calmly. The green crane master's gaze focused. It was you. When Lu Liang died, his life token shattered in his arms. He always thought Lu Liang had died at the hands of the ancient giant. Turns out he was killed by Jiang Fan. All right, I'll remember this account. The green crane master's eyes were filled with ferocity. His mind remained steadfast. Jiang Fan continued lightly. I was also the one who got to the Bodhi tree first. What? The Green Crane Master's face changed dramatically, shouting angrily, "It was you! And the Six-Path Master's treasure!" Jiang Fan took out that ring and said, "Is this what you're looking for?" The Green Crane Masters gritted his teeth, eyes flashing with fury. "I should have killed you the moment I suspected you." His suspicions weren't wrong. Yet he was tricked by Jiang Fan. A trace of remorse spread through his heart, and his mind began to waver. Jiang Fan continued, "Do you know why the ancient giant pursued you relentlessly?" The Green Crane Masters paused. "Are you saying it was also related to you?" Jiang Fan nodded. "I stole something from the ancient giant and used the heavenly thunder 6 parts. Cloud Shadow in the process. So he relentlessly chased you and your 2 disciples." "What?" The Green Crane Masters was utterly furious, slapping the ground and roared, "So you're the one who stirred up trouble." No wonder the ancient giant insanely pursued only the 3 of them. His severe injuries were also incurred during this relentless chase. The instigator was actually Jiang Fan. "Jiang Fan!" The Green Crane Masters roared with venomous hatred, wishing to tear Jiang Fan apart. As a dignified nascent soul, he was brought to such a miserable state by Jiang Fan. "Oh, and do you know why the blood skirt only pursued you?" Jiang Fan showed a teasing expression. The Green Crane Master's pupils shook. He hesitantly pulled out a broken hairpin from his bosom. In disbelief, he asked, "Is it because of this?" Jiang Fan nodded. "That's right, this hairpin belongs to the blood skirt. Thanks to you coveting my treasures, I had the chance to slip the hairpin to you, drawing the blood skirt's pursuit." "Ah, Jiang Fan!" Realizing the entire truth, the Green Crane Masters was furious to madness. "I want to kill you. I must kill you." His lifetime of reputation completely ruined at the hands of this brat. At this moment, his mind was wide open. Jiang Fan seized the opportunity and shouted, "What's the incantation?" The Green Crane Masters, upon hearing this, instinctively thought of the incantation. Before realizing something was amiss, Jiang Fan had already recited it out loud. "Caution is paramount, be vigilant first." Snap, the ring opened. Jiang Fan shook the space ring. "Thanks for telling. Everything you own is now mine." "No!" The Green Crane Masters roared with fury, glaring. "You little beast! I wish you a terrible death." Jiang Fan's eyes grew cold. He said in a cold voice, "Better you die first." Having obtained the incantation, why keep the Green Crane Masters any longer? He lifted his hand. The purple sword transformed into a streak of light, piercing toward his head. The Green Crane Masters, being suppressed by the 5 magnetic Yuan Mountain, couldn't evade at all. Seeing the imminent strike, a resolute gleam flashed in the Green Crane Master's eyes. From the center of his brow, a small, misty, palm-sized light cluster shot out. Within the light cluster was a miniature Green Crane Masters, completely transparent, radiating a powerful soul aura. Unmistakably, it was a soul separation one could only achieve in the nascent soul realm. "Jiang Fan!" The miniature Green Crane Masters let out an earth-shattering scream. "Forcing me to abandon my nascent soul body, ruining my century-long cultivation, seizing my lifelong savings. This hatred is higher than the sky, deeper than the sea. I, the Green Crane, swear to the heavens. Once I seize a new body and cultivate anew, I will bloodbath your sect, slaughter all your clansmen, and wipe out your friends. If I break my vow, may I die without a grave." His hatred for Jiang Fan reached its peak. The sinister and venomous vow sent chills down one's spine. The sea charm shivered in terror, hurriedly releasing vast swathes of ice and snow, attempting to freeze his soul. But common attacks had no effect on a soul. The Green Crane Master's soul body directly pierced through the ice and snow, flying upwards. Turning to stare at Jiang Fan, his eyes filled with endless hatred. "Just wait, Jiang Fan. Wait for my return to exact revenge." Jiang Fan's expression was ice cold. Reaching into his bosom, he said coldly, "Do you think you can escape?" Crane Masters burst into loud laughter. "You know nothing about the soul leaving the body. Methods capable of restraining a soul body in this world are extremely rare. Let alone a Jidan Jr. like you. Even a nascent soul realm expert could only watch helplessly as I walk away." These words were not false. Back in the day, the Tiger Demon Emperor was extremely powerful. With cultivation close to the divinity transformation realm, how invincible was he? Yet, didn't the remnant soul of the Six-Path Masters escape right under his nose? Ordinary body techniques, spells, and innate bloodlines are completely ineffective against an insubstantial soul body. Once a nascent soul expert decisively lets the soul leave the body before dying, no one can stop them. unless by chance that person possesses a magical treasure capable of suppressing souls, and it must be of the spiritual artifact level or higher. Jiang Fan said coldly, "Then I have bad news for you, the means to restrain soul bodies. I just happen to have them," before Green Crane Masters could react. Jiang Fan suddenly drew out the soul-suppressing Buddha beads. The remnant soul of the Six-Path Masters was tightly bound by this string of soul-suppressing Buddha beads. Perhaps it was bound for too long, and it had fallen into a coma. Jiang Fan couldn't care less about him at this moment. The beads gave a shake, shaking off whatever was bothering him, and then tossed it away with a wave of his hand. The soul-suppressing Buddha beads immediately flew towards Green Crane Masters. What? The soul-suppressing Buddha beads lost by the White Horse Temple for 1,000 years? How did it end up in your hands? The sinister smile on the face of Green Crane Masters froze, followed by a ghostly scream. He fled in terror, transformed into a faint gleaming light cluster, racing towards a crack at an extremely fast speed. But the soul-suppressing Buddha beads had locked onto him. In an instant, it emitted a golden Buddhist light, enveloping him. Under the illumination of the Buddhist light, the soul body of Green Crane Masters seemed to be powerfully restrained, moving as if trapped in a mire. "No, don't!" He struggled desperately, but to no avail. In an instant, he was bound by the Buddha beads. Right after, the beads wrapped around a few more times, twisting him tightly like a rope. In this moment, Jiang Fan's heart finally settled. He raised his hand with a gesture. The Buddha beads and the suppressed soul of Green Crane Masters fell into his palm. "Massacre my sect, slaughter my entire clan, kill my friends, and even make venomous oaths." Jiang Fan squinted his eyes, coldly staring at him. Green Crane Masters trembled and said, "Young friend, those were just words said in a moment of anger by this old man. Please don't take them to heart. How about this? I see you have profound mastery on the path of thunder. You're very suitable to cultivate the methods of my 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. I can write you a recommendation letter to enter the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. This way, you'll have the chance to access the top-level thunder techniques of the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple." Jiang Fan pondered for a moment, spread open the space storage device in his palm, chanted again the spell caution above all, safety first. With a click, the space storage device opened. A casual sweep of his divine sense revealed two very familiar tokens. He immediately took them out. "Thunder extension orders, and there are two." Jiang Fan's eyes lit with joy. Upon a closer look, his delight grew even more. The complete version of Heavenly Thunder 6 parts. Cloud Shadow. The Thunder extension order given for his observation by Lei Zhenhai was incomplete, allowing cultivation only to the second layer. The most crucial third layer, however, could not be cultivated. Now finally a complete version was in hand. Seeing the other one, he was even more overjoyed. Heavenly Thunder 6 parts, Undying Blade. Jiang Fan had personally witnessed, with a wave of Green Crane Master's hand, the unparalleled power of the Thousand Jiang Thunder Blade Shadow. With Jiang Fan's current realm and power of thunder and lightning, it was challenging to achieve this kind of power. But if cultivated successfully, the power would certainly not be trivial. Haha, it seems I need not look far and wide. Jiang Fan cast a glance at the colorless face of Green Crane Masters. He was in no hurry to destroy its soul. Instead, he hurriedly searched through his space storage device to see if there were any related heavenly materials and earthly treasures for restoring the soul. Yet, upon closer inspection, Jiang Fan frowned. Besides the two thunder extension orders, inside were only some bottles and jars of third-grade spirit pills, some precious but not particularly rare heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and scattered crystal stones. "How are you so poor? Aren't you a nascent soul?" Jiang Fan could hardly believe his eyes. This was far from what he had imagined. "I'm poor." Green Crane Masters felt immensely insulted. "These resources I have don't exceed yours by 10, 100 times." He couldn't finish, because Jiang Fan pulled out a jade disc, emitting immensely powerful spiritual pressure. "Top-grade spiritual artifact?" Green Crane Masters took a cold breath. Thinking again about Jiang Fan's purple sword that could easily sever his fingers, that formidable 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, and the soul-suppressing Buddha beads that trapped his soul. Which of these wasn't a spiritual artifact? A nascent soul early-stage expert might not even possess one spiritual artifact. This boy had a total of 4. In comparison, Green Crane Masters instantly felt that Jiang Fan calling him poor wasn't entirely inaccurate. Jiang Fan held the life-changing jade disc. Sparks gleamed in his eyes. I thought I would never have a chance to use this jade disc. Unexpectedly, I've actually captured a complete nascent soul. This life-changing jade disc that fell from the void ancient tree. After gathering 3 nascent souls and a drop of divinity transformation blood essence, can cultivate a drop of sky-reaching marrow, ensuring a 100% breakthrough to the nascent soul realm. Jiang Fan had never held much hope. After all, it was nascent soul, something a core formation realm could hardly desire. Now, staring at the soul body of Green Crane Masters, a flicker of heat flashed in his eyes. This sky-reaching marrow, he might actually have a chance to obtain it. What do you want to do? Green Crane Masters felt a strong unease. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. I want to ask you to do a favor. As soon as the words fell, he infused spiritual power into the life-changing jade disc. The life-changing jade disc immediately emitted beams of white jade light, enveloping the nearby soul of Green Crane Masters. An irresistible devouring force instantly absorbed his soul body into it. Ah, what is this? My soul is scattering away. Jiang Fan, let me go, I beg you, let me go, with his last wisp of soul absorbed into it. The cries for help from Green Crane Masters came to an abrupt halt. His soul completely vanished into the heavens and earth. A generation of nascent soul thus fell. In the 3 nascent soul slots of the life-changing jade disc, one lit with a faint red glow. Jiang Fan, expressionless, if you had harbored a shred of kindness towards Xianxia and me, you wouldn't have ended up like this. Silently putting away the life-changing jade disc, Jiang Fan began cleaning up the battlefield. Firstly, the blood dress, which lay still, losing all its movement. Its consciousness, obliterated by Green Crane Master's thunder path. However, Jiang Fan personally experienced its terror. If hit upon the body, it could instantly absorb part of one's essence blood. Even a nascent soul expert couldn't avoid it. How could he miss out on such a treasure? He immediately stored it away. Next up was the broken hairpin. The blood dress protected it for sure for some reason. Moving the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain aside, Jiang Fan saw the hairpin tightly gripped in Green Crane Master's hand. He was just about to take it away. The corpse of Green Crane Masters suddenly opened its eyes, letting out a familiar, eerie laugh. Boy, you have so many treasures. Can't you leave some for me? Crane Masters, his expression was complex. See Charm's face turned pale as she exclaimed, how did he come back to life again? Jiang Fan squinted his eyes and said, it's not resurrection. It's body possession. Old coot, you really never miss a chance to possess a body. The one standing up again wasn't the Green Crane Masters at all. It was clearly the 6-Path Masters, Green Crane Masters, or rather, the 6-Path Masters stood up. He looked down at his dry and old body with a face full of disdain. This body doesn't have much lifespan left, and it was drained of quite some essence blood by the blood dress. If only it were the corpse of Dao'an. Alas, Jiang Fan rolled his eyes at him, you complain even when there's meat to eat. Without me snuffing you out, you should be grateful for sneaking away. Indeed. Originally, the 6-Path Masters were suppressed by Jiang Fan, their life and death at Jiang Fan's whim. Body possession and rebuilding was something unthinkable. Now he finally succeeded in possession, yet he still complained. His thoughts clear, the 6-Path Masters smiled broadly. Thank you, kid, for accommodating me. Jiang Fan interrupted him. No, I didn't help you possess a body. However, the 6-Path Masters laughed and said, but you never killed me. Perhaps because of the little bond between us. Back when the possession failed and Jiang Fan suppressed him, Jiang Fan could have killed him then. But he never did. Jiang Fan said flatly, you misunderstood, I just forgot. The 6-Path Masters only smiled without speaking. How meticulous is Jiang Fan? How could he forget his existence? The reason could only be that Jiang Fan held a shred of sentiment, unwilling to kill him. Noticing the purple sword in Jiang Fan's hand, sometimes clenched, sometimes loosened. The 6-Path Masters understood. Jiang Fan wanted to let him go, yet worried about him wreaking havoc once freed. He couldn't help but wear a complex expression and sighed. All right, I won't make things difficult for you. I promise you I won't senselessly kill the innocent in the future, unless provoked by others. Jiang Fan thought for a moment, retracted the purple sword and said, you better keep your promise. Otherwise, I won't mind letting you follow in the footsteps of Green Crane Masters. The old face of the 6-Path Masters twitched a little. That old fox Green Crane, such a cunning person, yet he died at your hand in the end. No one would believe it if word got out. But, he paused and said, that old fox left a trump card before his death. As far as I know, he tricked and killed no less than 3 nascent soul cultivators. The things he looted are quite astonishing. How could there be so little in the space storage ring? There's only one explanation. He anticipated his soul leaving the body and left a path for rebuilding after body possession. Jiang Fan's heart shook. What an old fox! He even left such a backup plan? Suddenly, Jiang Fan's gaze shifted, scrutinizing the Six-Path Masters. Didn't you leave any backup path or something? For cunningness, the Six-Path Masters was no slouch either. He almost possessed Jiang Fan. The Six-Path Masters was slightly stunned. When he noticed Jiang Fan looking at him as if watching a treasure mountain, he was so angry that he puffed his beard and glared, "You little brat, you're thinking about my stuff now." If I had a backup plan, would I be in this predicament? That made sense. Jiang Fan said, "What are your plans for the future, then?" The Six-Path Masters chuckled. "Naturally, it's to find the treasures left by that old fox. Though I possess a nascent soul body, the body is severely injured, not to mention my soul is a remnant soul. I urgently need a large amount of resources for replenishment." Paused for a moment. The Six-Path Master's eyes flashed, saying, "Of course, I'll leave a little for you as well. When you come to taking state, I'll present it to you." Jiang Fan looked at him askew. Not believing, "Are you that kind-hearted? Maybe you want something from me?" He knew the Six-Path Masters too well. This guy wouldn't wake up early without a deal, always wanting to take everything for himself. How could he be kind enough to give Jiang Fan something? "Cough, cough, don't speak of our relationship so heartlessly. We've gone through hardships together. Of course, I do indeed have a small request." The Six-Path Masters extended his pinky, indicating a very small matter. Jiang Fan gave him a disdainful look. "Is it a little bit or an eony bit?" The Six-Path Masters chuckled awkwardly. "A little. Really just a little. Aren't you going to the inner court of the Tiger Demon Emperor with this unconscious woman? I want to ask you to pay attention. Is my personal magic artifact from back then in the inner court." Back then. I was ambushed by the Tiger Demon Emperor, and the magical treasures on me were most likely seized by him. He probably hid them in his cave. Oh. Jiang Fan rubbed his chin in thought. The Six-Path Masters was late-stage nascent soul back in the day. The treasures on him shouldn't be inferior to Green Crane Master's horsetail whisk, right? "What is it?" Jiang Fan asked. The Six-Path Masters revealed a proud look. "A mid-grade spiritual artifact, the Sky Observation Treasure. It can observe vast lands and detect enemy traces from afar, and reflect enemy attacks up close. Holding this, you're invincible." As he spoke, the Six-Path Masters suddenly twitched his mouth. "Kid, why are your eyes so bright?" Jiang Fan blinked, coughed lightly. "Recently, I've been inflamed. My eyes are brighter than usual." "All right, I accept this matter. Given our relationship, it's only right to help you find the lost treasures." Seeing Jiang Fan speak full of sentiment, the Six-Path Masters suddenly felt a little regretful, muttering, "Why do I feel like the Sky Observation Treasure is saying farewell to me?" Shaking his head, he said, "When you find this treasure, come find me in Taikang State. By then, return the treasure to me, and I'll give you Green Crane Master's resources." Jiang Fan nodded. "All right." The Six-Path Masters also nodded slightly, saying, "I'll take my leave first. Be careful yourself. From my understanding of Jiangshan first-class building, they never do losing businesses. Dao'an lost so many subordinates. He will surely find compensation elsewhere. Don't let him see the things on you." After saying that, he wanted to leave into the air. Jiang Fan chuckled. "Leaving without first handing over my hairpin? This old guy thought I forgot, huh? Secretly wanted to sneak away with his stuff." The Six-Path Master's mouth twitched, taking out the broken hairpin from the sleeve he secretly hid it in. Annoyed, "Can't we part with a little gift?" Jiang Fan walked over and snatched it back. "I traded my life for it. Can I give it to you?" He then stuffed a jade bottle into his hand. "This is what you need most now." Originally, the Six-Path Masters was puffing his beard and glaring, but upon seeing the bottle full of revitalizing pills, he beamed with joy once more. Having followed Jiang Fan for so long, he naturally knew the miraculous nature of this item. It was akin to a life-saving talisman. "Still, you're a bit sentimental, kid. All right, I'll tell you about the origin and usage of the hairpin. So such a good treasure isn't mistaken as scrap metal by you." Fan said in surprise, "You know of this item?" The Six-Path Masters chuckled. "The 9-Phoenix hairpin of Red Demon Venerable, who wouldn't know? 1,000 years ago, she used this hairpin to massacre the ancient giant Tide. Amidst thousands of soldiers, she took the giant king's head. Sadly, she met an unexpected demise later with no trace left of her body. Since then, the 9-Phoenix hairpin has been missing, At this point, he sighed slightly with a touch of age-worn sentiment in his tone. Who would have thought it is now broken and buried in this desolate wilderness? It was once so glorious, accompanying its master through countless battles, suppressing endless chaos. In the end, it lies silent here, unknown to all. And even buried in the hand of a human clan boy, such a pity. Jiang Fan's face darkened. The last sentence was unnecessary. The six-path masters laughed mischievously, said, "All right, no joking with you. Obtaining this hairpin can be considered your fortune. This hairpin needs to be activated by soul power. It can summon 9 phoenixes to capture someone's soul. Back then, Red Demon Venerable used the 9 phoenixes to seize the giant king's soul." Seizing a soul. Jiang Fan's eyes gleamed with heat. Doesn't that mean when encountering a nascent soul expert, he could just summon this hairpin to extract their soul? "Don't overthink it," the six-path masters said discontentedly. "With your little soul power, you can't move it. There was once a disciple of Red Demon Venerable with ill intentions who stole this hairpin. He even attempted to use it against the Red Demon Venerable. As a result, the moment he activated it, his own soul was taken by the 9 phoenixes in the hairpin. If your soul power isn't strong enough, you can't control the 9 phoenixes within it." Jiang Fan was numbed. Even a late-period divinity transformation could not activate it. Then his soul power, nearing the nascent soul realm, is even less capable. The six-path masters continued, "However, this hairpin is already broken and only half remains. Whether it can still be activated, and how much soul power is needed to control it, are all unknowns. With your current realm, it's best not to try it lightly. If it backfires, you'll have a big problem." Jiang Fan nodded, carefully putting the hairpin away. "This item, it's like playing a blind box with your life. If opened well, you laugh joyfully. If not, the enemy will laugh like a pig squealing." "Thank you," said Jiang Fan. The six-path masters gave a deep look at Jiang Fan and said, "All right. See you again in the world." He transformed into a lightning bolt and vanished. Jiang Fan was left feeling a sense of loss. After a moment, he shook his head and continued to clean up the battlefield. The only thing left untouched here was the bronze coffin. The eeriness of this coffin was deeply impressed in his memory. Just a touch would render one immobile. "During battle, it should scarcely be of much use," muttered Jiang Fan. He surely couldn't use a coffin to hit people during a fight, right? Still, that it remained intact for 1,000 years suggests it's not an ordinary item. "Better keep it for now," with a gesture. Jiang Fan stored it in the heavenly thunder stone, completely cleaned up the area. Jiang Fan carried concubine Xianxia, feeling slightly heavy-hearted, back to the Silver Fox tribe's sanctuary. Seeing Jiu Yinju and a group of Silver Fox tribe members coming up to greet him, Jiang Fan felt immensely guilty. "Senior Jiu Yinju's expression changed slightly. "Xianxia, Jiang Fan said. "She's still alive. But her soul is severely injured, with no cure in either human or demon race." The only hope was the space storage ring of the Green Crane Masters. But it ended in great disappointment for him. As things stand now, Jiang Fan could only head far away to Taikang State. Only in the outer realm divine sect might he find the materials needed. "Senior Jiu, I plan to," as Jiang Fan was speaking. Jiu Yinju waved his hand with an extremely complicated expression on his stern face. "No need to worry. I have a pill for treating the soul here." "What?" Jiang Fan's body shook violently. "Is that true? How could that be?" "A pill for treating the soul is a 4th-grade spirit pill. Neither the human nor demon race have it. Even in the so-called Taikang State, it might not be found. The Silver Fox clan, a tribe of the demon race, having such a spirit pill." Jiang Fan truly found it hard to believe. Jiu Yinju took out a jade bottle from his bosom. Jiang Fan took a look and his pupils shook. 4th-grade spirit pill, soul-nourishing pill. "Senior Jiu, how does your esteemed tribe have such a spirit pill?" Jiu Yinju rasped. "A gift from someone else." Jiang Fan was in disbelief. Who would give such a precious pill to the Silver Fox tribe? "Who is it?" "The Spirit Sound Priest." Jiu Yinju said calmly. "Spirit Sound, the mysterious old priestess. She actually has such a spirit pill." Jiang Fan was greatly astonished, but in the end, it's good news. Just in time to save concubine Xianxia, he held the jade bottle, unable to suppress his amazement. Quite the coincidence indeed. Of so many kinds of pills, she just happened to send one for soul healing. Jiu Yinju raised his eyes. Looking at Jiang Fan, his gaze profound. "Do you know the Spirit Sound Priestess?" Jiang Fan shook his head blankly. "We've never met. Even among your demon race, very few have seen her, let alone an outsider like me." Jiu Yinju showed a look of confusion. After a pause, he slowly said, This pill was just sent over by her. Just now, Jiang Fan doubted his ears. You mean the spirit sound priestess sending the pill was no coincidence, but knew that concubine Xianxia suffered a soul injury and sent it over? How can that be? Not to mention how spirit sound knew about concubine Xianxia's soul injury. From the moment concubine Xianxia got injured, it's only been 2 or 3 two-hour periods. Spirit sound is in the demon emperor court. How could she come to deliver the pill in such a short time? Moreover, why would she save concubine Xianxia? Jiu Yinju looked a bit worried. That's not the odd part. The priest lineage has always been mysterious. Knowing the unknowable is not impossible. What's strange is, she deeply gazed at Jiang Fan. The spirit sound priest has no ties with my Silver Fox clan, and she has a very indifferent nature, not keen on meddling. There's no way she would deliver a pill to save Xianxia. There's only one explanation. She came for you. Jiang Fan was at a loss whether to thank the spirit sound priestess or to feel deeply uneasy. This woman is too mysterious. Senior Jiu, I destroyed the dead spirit puppet of the priest lineage, and I ruthlessly bullied her daughter. Her coming for me, it doesn't make sense. Jiu Yinju affirmed, no doubt. She definitely came for you. He stepped back a few steps as he looked at Jiang Fan, with a deep sense of dread in his eyes. Since you're involved with the spirit sound priestess, I, old man, must reassess our alliance to avoid implicating my Silver Fox clan. Jiang Fan felt a chill down his spine. Senior Jiu, is this spirit sound priestess so terrifying? Jiu Yinju glanced around, seeming to fear someone might eavesdrop on his words. The aged face could not repress traces of terror. With a deep voice, he said, wasn't there anyone in the Demon Emperor court who warned you to stay away from the spirit sound priestess? Fan, solemn and unyielding, said sternly, who would remind a prisoner like me of such a thing? I just happened to overhear some of you in the demon race discussing the spirit sound priest, mentioning how mysterious she is. Jiu Yinju's emotions seemed a bit unsettled. Some words were on the tip of her tongue but were held back. She finally brushed off the topic, unwilling to say more, to avoid inviting trouble. This spirit pill? Jiu Yinju looked at the soul-nourishing pill, her face full of hidden concerns. Apparently, she was worried about potential issues. Jiang Fan mused, the pills overall should be fine. If the spirit sound priest really intended harm to concubine Xianxia, she could simply watch her remain in a coma forever. There's no need to send a pill, risking effort and gaining a bad reputation. Jiu Yinju sighed slightly. I know. It's just that her actions are always unpredictable. If this pill is consumed, I worry about hidden risks. However, looking at concubine Xianxia's unconscious state, she had no other choice. She could only give the spirit pill to concubine Xianxia. The pill's effect was excellent, and concubine Xianxia immediately regained a faint sense of consciousness. Jiang Fan breathed a sigh of relief. The huge stone in his chest finally fell. If concubine Xianxia died because of him, he would feel guilty for a lifetime. Young Master Jiang, allow Xianxia to rest for a while. Let her soul fully recover before you set off to the Demon Emperor Cave Mansion, Jiu Yinju said. Jiang Fan nodded. No problem, let her recover well. Meanwhile, I also need to retreat for a few days. Returning to the cave mansion, he saw a slender figure bending over, tidying up his bed. Her waist was so thin it could barely be held, and her raised hips left a peach-shaped mark on the light green dress. Sensing someone behind her, the figure turned her head to look. Brother, are you okay? You've been away for so long, Ling Shu was worried sick about you. Ling Shu's delicate face lit up with joy, and she hurried over to examine Jiang Fan up and down, with concern. Brother, are you injured? Jiang Fan smiled gently. He took her soft, warm little hand. Don't ever push yourself like that for me again. It's not worth it. Ling Shu's pale cheeks turned visibly red, shyly pulling her hand back. Yet she discovered something, opening her palm to look. It was a small jade box. Inside was filled with clear, viscous spiritual liquid. Even through the jade box, she could feel her heart's longing for the liquid within. Brother, what's this? Ling Shu asked, puzzled. Jiang Fan said, the secret of Liu Li's breakthrough by 2 levels overnight. For you, breaking through to the Jiden realm 8th layer shouldn't be a problem. Ah. Ling Shu showed an expression of joy. Is this the mysterious opportunity she longed for? She held it in her palms, examining it repeatedly, unable to let go. Jiang Fan said, you saved me, consider this as a thank you. Upon hearing this, Ling Shu's smile faded. She pondered while holding the small jade box, then grabbed Jiang Fan's hand and returned the box to him. Then I don't want it. Why? Jiang Fan was stunned. Ling Shu always got close to him, wasn't it for the egg liquid? Now that she got it, why doesn't she want it? Could she be playing a psychological tactic like playing hard to get? Ling Shu brushed her hair aside, her clear eyes carrying a hint of apology. When you risked your life sealing the blood skirt for me and the sea charm demon king, I felt utterly ashamed, because I approached you with a purpose. With your intuition, you surely sensed that I wasn't being sincere. Yet you still did this for me. I treated you with insincerity, but you responded with genuine kindness. I feel undeserving of this spiritual liquid. So that's how it is. Jiang Fan smiled slightly. He took her small hand and stuffed the egg liquid back into her palm. Judge actions, not intentions. In terms of intentions, no one is a saint. No matter what you intended, you ultimately risked your life to save me. This is something I should reciprocate. Ling Shu, hearing this, gently pressed her lips, her eyes trembling. Her heart felt warm, as if something was melting, but after thinking for a moment, she still said, I don't want the spiritual liquid. Could you exchange it for something else? Jiang Fan nodded. Let's hear it. Ling Shu's small face blushed slightly, but her eyes shone with irrepressible light. Do you remember that grassland? The one where the wind blows and the grass lowers, revealing cattle and sheep? I hope when the war between the human clan and demon race ends after peace comes, you can accompany me to live on the grassland for a while. A year, no, just a month is fine. Is that okay? She still remembered that grassland. She couldn't forget it. Jiang Fan, without hesitation, said, all right. Ling Shu's eyes lit up suddenly, covering her mouth to exclaim, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. She didn't expect Jiang Fan to agree. Jiang Fan, smiling, placed the egg liquid back into her palm. I will accompany you on the grassland, watch the clouds roll and unfold, listen to the stars' silent whispers. I will accompany you to chop wood, read books, herd sheep and horses. But first, you must enhance your strength. You must reach the 9th layer of core formation. Ling Shu nodded continuously with joy. It's a deal. I must break through to the 9th layer of core formation. I'm going to cultivate right now. She accepted the egg liquid and ran back to her own cave mansion, full of anticipation. Jiang Fan showed a warm expression on his face, closing the stone door. He sat down cross-legged to meditate. A few days later, he was awakened by a knock on the door. After several days of recuperation, he had successively broken through the 4th and 5th layers of core formation realm, consolidating them a bit. But it was still far from enough. He needed practical combat to temper himself. This unstable realm led to the leakage of void flow thunder force, which caused so much trouble. The same situation. He didn't want to go through it a second time. Upon hearing the knock, he got up to open the door and was greeted by a stunning and graceful silhouette. Her appearance could overthrow a nation, like a banished immortal walking in the mortal world. Is your soul wound healed? Seeing her fully awake, Jiang Fan's eyes showed a hint of happiness. Concubine Xianxia was stunned for a moment. In the past, Jiang Fan treated her harshly and coldly. This sudden concern made her feel a bit uncomfortable. I'm all right, it just feels like there's something else inside my body now. Concubine Xianxia said, could Jiu Yinju be right and the spirit sound priest sent the pill with another purpose? Let me take your pulse. Jiang Fan grabbed her hand with seriousness and started checking. Concubine Xianxia blushed and quickly pulled her hand back, saying, it's nothing serious, you don't need to worry. Strangely enough, in the past, if Jiang Fan touched her hand, she would definitely scold him. Now she didn't lose her temper as much. Jiang Fan didn't notice these changes. He furrowed his brows and fell into deep thought. Though he only checked briefly, he confirmed there was indeed an inexplicable power within Concubine Xianxia. It clung tightly to Concubine Xianxia's golden core, quite stubbornly. What exactly is the spirit sound priest trying to do? Jiang Fan was confused. All right, don't overthink it. Concubine Xianxia said, hurry and pack up, prepare to go to the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion. It's not far from opening. Also, there's good news and bad news to tell you. Which would you like to hear first? Jiang Fan said, let's hear the good news first. Concubine Xianxia nodded gently, saying, you can leave the demon race lands and return to the human clan. Fan asked in confusion. In fact, he was already free now. The Silver Fox clan would not obstruct his departure. The Sea Charm Demon King and Ling Shu certainly wouldn't stop him. The only trouble was, if he left now, the entire Sea Charm Demon King's clan would be implicated. If there were another way to leave openly, that would be even better. Concubine Xianxia's pretty face turned slightly somber and she said, the reason is the bad news I want to tell you. The Demon Emperor has led his army south. You can take the opportunity to escape while the Demon Emperor is too busy to care about you. Jiang Fan's heart sank suddenly. He immediately understood the reason for the demon emperor's action and said coldly, "The ancient giant is dead, and the nascent soul experts from the outer realm divine sect have left. The demon emperor thinks he can do whatever he wants now, doesn't he?" Concubine Xianxia looked at Jiang Fan with a complex expression and said, "Actually, after the defeat at Boundary Mountain, the demon emperor had been mobilizing the army, preparing for a final showdown. The appearance of the ancient giant disrupted the plan. Now that things have settled down, naturally, he wants to march south. The demon race lost so disastrously, and the demon emperor's prestige was greatly tarnished. This battle is unavoidable." Jiang Fan felt a sense of oppression. He could imagine how brutal this battle would be. It wouldn't be like the battle at Boundary Mountain, ending with the sacrifice of just over 100 people. At least thousands or even tens of thousands of people would fall. Our Silver Fox clan also received the mobilization order to immediately march as a clan to Boundary Mountain. The demon emperor is serious now. Concubine Xianxia was in a gloomy mood. The Silver Fox clan's participation in this battle would certainly deplete its yuan energy. Jiang Fan said coldly, "Has the demon emperor gone mad? What is he after by starting a war?" A flash of repressed anger passed through Concubine Xianxia's eyes. Of course, it's to solidify his ruling position. He won't allow the tribes around him to grow too powerful, and war is the best way to suppress these tribes. Jiang Fan suddenly remembered. The demon emperor once disguised as an ordinary person and posed a question to him. If a ruler felt that the family forces were too deeply rooted, threatening his rule, what should he do? Jiang Fan suggested high, medium, and low strategies. The high strategy was to start a war and consume their power. It turns out, the demon emperor had been doing just that, using the lives of our human clan to maintain his rule. The chill in Jiang Fan's eyes was evident. If there was any opportunity, he must kill the demon emperor. Concubine Xianxia gave a bitter smile. He at least can't control you humans, but it's different for us demons. As long as he's around, no one can break through to the demon emperor realm. Jiang Fan looked at Concubine Xianxia and suddenly realized something. Shocked, he asked, "Are you saying you failed the tribulation because he interfered?" Concubine Xianxia seemed to recall a painful memory. A hint of pain appeared on her face. She said, "What else? For no reason, why would I reject him and never let him touch me? A man who blocked my path to becoming demon emperor and forced me to marry him. How could I let him have his way? No wonder. No wonder the entire Silver Fox tribe hated the demon emperor so much, to the point of wanting to kill the demon emperor. What the demon emperor did was truly despicable. If Jiang Fan's breakthrough to nascent soul had been ruined by the demon emperor, he would only hate him more than the Silver Fox clan did. Moreover, he forced Concubine Xianxia to marry him. There is a chance, Jiang Fan said. In this Tiger Demon Emperor secret realm, you should try to find an opportunity to break through. If you lie low for a while, you can definitely rise again. Concubine Xianxia withdrew the unusual emotion from her eyes and said softly, "Thank you, young Master Jiang." She didn't know what had come over her. She would never have spoken to Jiang Fan like this before. Today, she said it all. After surviving a life-and-death crisis, the barrier between them instantly disappeared. Their relationship unknowingly became much closer. Jiang Fan rubbed his nose. He was also somewhat unaccustomed to such a gentle and virtuous concubine Xianxia. In his impression, shouldn't she have been someone who would get angry after more than 3 sentences? Today, she even confided in him. "It seems you two are getting along well. Once you start talking, you just don't want to stop." Zhu Yinzhu's half-teasing, hoarse voice came from afar. Concubine Xianxia felt slightly embarrassed, gave a small curtsy, and said, "Xianxia will leave first. Young Master Jiang, do as you please." Then she hurriedly ran away. Jiang Fan rubbed his nose. He came to the outside of the cave mansion. The sea-charmed Demon King and Ling Shu were already waiting outside. Both of them looked very serious, as if they already knew the news of the demon race's southward move for the impending great battle. "Brother, calmly head to the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion. When the boat gets to the pierhead, it will go straight with the current. Maybe the war will stop," Ling Shu comforted him softly. Jiang Fan sighed slightly. This war was a war driven by the Demon Emperor's ambition. Unless another major event like the sudden appearance of the ancient giants happened. Otherwise, it would be unavoidable. But he didn't want Ling Shu to notice anything. He smiled gently and said, "I'll borrow your auspicious words. Will you return to the Demon Emperor court immediately, or come with me to the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion?" Ling Shu smiled slyly. "I didn't receive any order to go south. Why would I go back? The sea charm demon king gave a dry cough. I did receive the order to return. However, I'm supposed to watch over the human clan captives. Right, Jiang Fan said with a laugh and a tearful voice. All right then. You can come with me to the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion. Maybe you can also gain something. The Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion does not belong to anyone specifically. Anyone can enter the outer mansion. As for the inner mansion, it depends on whether you have a pill book silver scroll. The group reached an agreement. Then they left the refuge. Zhu Yinzhu said, Young Master Jiang, I will lead my people south. If the war cannot be avoided, I will try my best to control my people to injure but not kill. Please understand. Jiang Fan bowed. Senior Jiu's great favor, this junior will remember. Having his people only injure but not kill meant they were taking a huge risk, because the human clan had not coordinated with them in advance. When they encounter the Silver Fox clan, they might not show mercy. This favor is indeed immeasurable. Zhu Yinzhu said, I hope that in the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion, if Xianxia encounters danger, you can help her. If there is an opportunity to assist her in breaking through to the Demon Emperor realm, also help her. Jiang Fan earnestly said, Concubine Xianxia saved my life. Even without Senior Jiu's words, this junior would do so. Zhu Yinzhu was reassured. He said, Good, then let's part ways here. I hope you gain something in the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion. Jiang Fan cupped his hands in farewell, watching them march grandly southward. Jiang Fan then set off northward with concubine Xianxia, Sea Charm, and Ling Shu. 3 days later, the northernmost part of the demon race. A gentle breeze with a slight salty taste blew over. Jiang Fan stood atop a hill, gazing out at the vast sea. He couldn't help but be slightly surprised. So the northern end of the demon race is the sea. No wonder the further north you go, the more humid the climate becomes. Ling Shu smiled slightly and said, Brother, the north is the key area for our demon race. Most of the resources come from the north. Some of these resources are transported to the Demon Emperor City and various tribes, while others are traded with the Sea Demon Clan for maritime resources. Jiang Fan suddenly realized, I have always wondered how, in such a harsh environment of ice and snow, the demon race could flourish. It turns out you have such fertile land. After a pause, Jiang Fan again looked puzzled, but why would the Demon Emperor Court choose to be located in the ice and snow? Isn't this place more suitable? Concubine Xianxia said calmly. Of course, it's to easily control the various tribes. Ling Shu nodded and said, Exactly. This is learned from the famous migration to Mowling decree in your human clan's history, to concentrate the powerful families of the world and relocate them to a place lacking resources. In this way, their connections to their original territories are greatly weakened, and they can be controlled through resource allocation. I guess it was Han Feidao who suggested this to the Demon Emperor. Han Feid. Jiang Fan's eyes showed a trace of cold gleam. This old scoundrel, he really is dedicated to the Demon Emperor. At that moment, suddenly a wave, several meters high, splashed up from the distant sea. A graceful female figure riding on a bubble suddenly appeared. She kept looking back over her shoulder, very flustered. All of a sudden, she spotted Jiang Fan on a mountain along the coast. At first, she was stunned. Then, as if clutching at a lifeline, she sped towards him. Demon Clan Visit Group Museum. This woman, isn't she being chased? Wait, why is she running towards me? We're not even familiar. Jiang Fan was speechless. He promptly summoned purple thunderbolts. Let's go. He had no connections with Mu Ziyu. He wouldn't cause trouble for her. Seeing Jiang Fan about to leave, Mu Ziyu anxiously said, Jiang Fan, wait a moment. At this time, the water again surged and rolled. 5 powerful figures with Sea Demon Clan characteristics shot into the sky. 2 among them suddenly had the terrifying aura of the 9th layer of core formation perfection. The other 3 were either 9th layer or the 8th layer of core formation. The lineup was quite formidable. Seeing them, Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. This woman, she really dared to lead such powerful enemies to him. Who are you? I'm not Jiang Fan, you've got the wrong person. Saying this, he was about to leave. Mu Ziyu, in a panic, gritted her teeth and said, When you took my doo-doo, you didn't get the wrong person? Suddenly, Jiang Fan's face turned red. The matter of the doo-doo is it impossible to get over, bringing it up again and again. Concubine Xianxia reflexively crossed her arms, protecting her chest, then quickly distanced herself from Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched and he said, What are you thinking? It's not what you think. Concubine Xianxia waved her hand to interrupt him, guarding her chest even tighter. No need to explain to me. I understand you. As someone who suffered from Jiang Fan searching her chest before, and not just once but twice, she had more to say than anyone. Jiang Fan didn't need to argue. Ling Shu and Si Charm looked at concubine Xianxia in astonishment, their eyes darting back and forth between her and Jiang Fan. Why did it feel like there was a story between these two? The flames of gossip burned in their eyes for both of them. Jiang Fan glared speechlessly at the approaching Mu Ziyu. It's just a broken doo-doo, isn't it? I'll gift you 100 of them, all right? Mu Ziyu was panting. It was unclear whether it was from exhaustion or embarrassment, her cheeks blushing. Let's not talk about this for now. Help me fend them off. Jiang Fan laughed in exasperation. Sorry, we're not that close. Don't expect me to help you. Mu Ziyu showed a look of pleading. I won't let you help me for nothing. I can offer you compensation. Ha! Jiang Fan curled his lips. He had thoroughly searched what she had on her. There's really nothing good worth as a reward. What do you take me for? You think a little something can buy me? Sorry, you found the wrong person. Seeing Jiang Fan was so hard to persuade. Mu Ziyu gritted her teeth and opened her small mouth. A transparent pill pearl flew out. I'll give you this, will that be okay? Luckily, she kept a trick up her sleeve back then. The water-repelling pearl nurtured within her body hadn't been taken by Jiang Fan. Now it's the only valuable treasure she had left. Ling Shu's eyes swept over it, and she exclaimed, Could this be the water-repelling pearl mentioned in books? With it in your mouth, you can swim through the ocean like a fish without hindrance. Brother, this is a good thing. It is only produced in the sea and is a banned item that all sea demon clans prohibit for external sale. In every generation, demon emperors have tried to acquire one from the Beihai demon clan, but failed. This is understandable. If the mainland demon clan had the water-repelling pearl, they would undoubtedly have the potential to invade the sea demon clan's territory. So such an item would not be easily given to mainland creatures. Faced with the threat to her life, Mu Ziyu had no choice but to use this as an exchange. Oh, is the water-repelling pearl that precious? Jiang Fan adopted a genial expression. He took the water-repelling pearl with a smile and said, Sister Mu, you are too polite. You and I are friends who only became acquainted through a fight. In your time of trouble, I will naturally help you. No need for gifts. Don't do this next time. He then skillfully tucked the water-repelling pearl into his sleeve. Mu Ziyu blinked. What did he call me? Sister. She was both annoyed and amused. This rascal. Without benefits, he isn't familiar with you. With benefits, you become Sister Mu, however. If he could protect her life, the water-repelling pearl would be worth it. After all, there's likely to be a fierce battle ahead. Then I'll rely on you. Mu Ziyu stood by Jiang Fan's side. Looking at concubine Xianxia and the sea-charmed demon king, she instantly felt very safe. Jiang Fan nodded. Looking towards the Sea Demon clan opposite, he cupped his hands and said, Friends from the Sea Demon clan, may I know your esteemed names? 5 strong Sea clan members leaped into the air. The numbers on both sides were about the same. Moreover, the auras of concubine Xianxia and the sea-charmed demon king made them feel especially troublesome. As a result, their aggressive momentum reduced significantly. The leader was an elder whose skin glowed. Old man Zhu Yinghuan, the first martial minister under the West Sea Demon Emperor. Who might you be? Without clarifying the other party's identity, the elder dared not act rashly. If the opposition had a large backing, it would be troublesome. Jiang Fan felt a chill. Besides the North Sea, it turns out the Sea Demon clan also had forces in the West Sea, and the identity of the first martial minister meant he was the strongest under the West Sea Demon Emperor. This power was likely equivalent to someone like concubine Xianxia, who had crossed calamities. And the other few were no easy opponents either. If a fight broke out, even though his side wouldn't suffer a loss, they would still use up energy. With a little thought, he calmly smiled. Allow me to introduce. To my left is the Sea-charmed Demon King, one of the 4 great demon kings under the Sky Demon Emperor. Sea-charm cooperatively released the aura of 9th layer of core formation perfection. To my right is concubine Xianxia, the concubine of the Sky Demon Emperor. Concubine Xianxia also cooperatively released a hint of nascent soul realm aura. The introduction of these two made Zhu Yinghuan solemn, especially concubine Xianxia, who was actually the concubine of the Sky Demon Emperor. This was not a low status. However, these two alone wouldn't make them let Mu Ziyu go today. This woman had done something extremely hateful. She must not be allowed to escape. He finally looked at Jiang Fan and said, And you are? This person had the lowest aura among these few and was a human, probably not someone significant. Jiang Fan slightly smiled and said, I am Jiang Fan of the human clan. The Sky Demon Emperor is my father-in-law. Zhu Yinghuan frowned slightly. Son-in-law of the Sky Demon Emperor. This status was not inferior to that of a concubine. If they fought later, it was best to avoid injuring him. Furthermore, but Jiang Fan wasn't finished yet. Green Crane Masters of the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple is my master. Guest elders I fade you of Jiangshan First-Class Building is a family friend. Disciple Wang Yunxiao of the Great Yin Sect is my brother. When traveling outside, one's identity is self-given. Ling Shu was astonished. In such a short time, her brother's credentials were updated again, and they became even more prestigious. She was baffled hearing it. The Sea Charm Demon King's mouth twitched. Goodness. These three people were either killed by Jiang Fan or beaten half to death by him. Yet in Jiang Fan's words, they all became his contacts outside. These contacts were indeed wild. Young friend, this must not be said carelessly. Zhu Yinghuan was intimidated by these identities, spouting off names of the Outer Realm Divine Sect, speaking either of masters or of brothers and family friends. Who could bear this? Especially Green Crane Masters, who was a nascent soul expert of a great sect. Is his disciple someone to be trifled with? Jiang Fan replied seriously, how can such things be spoken lightly? Elder Zhu, let's step aside and talk. He walked to the corner of the mountain's back. Zhu Yinghuan quickly followed. He noticed that Jiang Fan was already holding a horsetail whisk in his hand. His old face changed color instantly. The Serenity Duster of the Green Crane Masters. Jiang Fan waved it twice, emitting rays of pure light, and said, my master gave it to me for self-defense. Elder Zhu, please keep this secret for me. Zhu Yinghuan no longer had any doubts. The Serenity Duster is a personal magical treasure that the Green Crane Masters would never part from. Unless he gave it away voluntarily, it would never fall into someone else's hands. His glowing old face immediately showed a smile. So you're a distinguished pupil of the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. A member of our West Sea Demon clan once served as the guardian mountain beast at the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. It seems our families have quite a connection. Jiang Fan chuckled inwardly without speaking. When your status is high, even those unrelated to you will try to connect with you. He showed a surprised expression and hurriedly cupped his hands. Oh, so we're on the same side. Pleased to meet you. Zhu Yinghuan laughed along and said, let's talk more when we get back. The two laughed and chatted as they walked back. Little friend Jiang, you exude an extraordinary aura and demeanor that are beyond words. In my life, I've met countless people and can confidently say that you will definitely become a true dragon of the heavens in the future. Elder Zhu, you're too kind. If I could achieve the 9th layer perfection of core formation like you and become a supreme figure under the Demon Emperor, I would be very satisfied. Ha, little friend Jiang, you're being modest. A dragon among men like you has the potential to glimpse the nascent soul realm. I, on the other hand, am stuck at the 9th layer perfection of core formation. Elder Zhu is truly modest, an admirable high-level demeanor. Just this alone is worth learning for a lifetime. Whether it was the Sea Charm people or the West Sea Demon clan side, they were all left speechless. This old and young pair, how did their conversation become a mutual flattery? Little friend Jiang, since we're family, I won't pursue Mu Ziyu's matter any further. Just take her home and teach her well. Zhu Yinghuan gave Jiang Fan some face. Jiang Fan cupped his hands and said, thank you, Elder Zhu. Visit the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple when you have time. Mention my name, Jiang Fan, and my master will definitely treat you with great honor. The few strong members of the West Sea Demon clan who followed cast envious glances at Zhu Yinghuan. Being hosted by a nascent soul expert from a great sect, what an honor it was. Zhu Yinghuan earned glory in front of his clan and was extremely satisfied. He smiled and said, it's nothing. You are also welcome to visit the West Sea anytime. I will surely treat you sincerely. The two exchanged a few more polite words. They then bid farewell in a cordial atmosphere. Watching them slip into the vast sea, Jiang Fan finally put away his smile. He took out the water-repelling pearl and touched it fondly. If it weren't for the time constraints, I'd really want to try out this pearl's wonders in the sea. Beside him, Mu Ziyu was a bit dumbfounded. Is that it? It's over. I used up a water-repelling pearl, you know. At least put on a fight make me feel that the pearl was worth it. A few words did the job like this. I feel really uneasy. She and this group were at deadly odds. She expected a fierce battle to have a chance to save her life. But Jiang Fan calmed things down with a few words. This is like. You're terminally ill, using your entire fortune to plead for a divine doctor to save your life. The divine doctor randomly grabs some roadside weeds, stuffs them into your mouth, and cures you. Do you say the result was wrong? Of course not. It's just the process feels not worth the price of your entire fortune. Jiang Fan touched his nose. Focused too much on settling matters, he overlooked providing emotional value for Mu Ziyu. With a dry cough, Jiang Fan said, "Then I'll pretend to fight with the air." "Would that make you feel better?" Mu Ziyu was speechless, almost tearing up. "No, you doing that makes me feel worse." Ling Shu covered her mouth, stifling a laugh, and comforted. "Deputy Envoy Mu, don't be upset. Just consider that brother Jiang Fan has thoroughly cleaned you out." "Woo," Mu Ziyu cried. Shed tears of frustration. "You little brat, you're such a great comforter." "Thanks a lot." "Haha," the sea charm laughed along. Even concubine Xianxia couldn't help but smile lightly. A world where only Mu Ziyu is hurt was achieved just like that. Jiang Fan hurriedly put away the water-repelling pearl to prevent Mu Ziyu from seeing it and feeling sad, and said, "By the way, why are you being chased by the West Sea Demon clan? Weren't you supposed to have returned to the North Sea by now?" Mu Ziyu wiped her tears. She said dejectedly, "Our return journey was filled with bad luck. First, we encountered the bald monks from White Horse Temple who converted Bai Chu. Had we not run fast, we would have been converted too." Jiang Fan chuckled. "I've met those monks. Among them is a master in the Vajra fruit position. If he really wanted to convert you, could you have escaped? He just didn't find you worthy." Mu Ziyu was stunned. Jiang Fan had actually met those monks from the White Horse Temple. Her bluff was called out right to her face. She blushed, embarrassed. "Then we encountered a ferocious creature that escaped from the divinity transformation relics in the sea. Master Yu blocked it while we scattered and fled. Is the North Sea really that small? You can even encounter something like this. I escaped nearby and saw a male sea demon shamelessly groping the chest of a resisting female sea demon. Immediately, I thought of you, human clan's virtue, drawing a sword to help when witnessing injustice. So I drew my sword and castrated him." Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. He swore the human clan absolutely has no such virtuous tradition of castrating people when witnessing injustice. "And then," Mu Ziyu hesitated, "then I found out. The female sea demon was his woman and they were just having a quarrel." PFF, Jiang Fan nearly spat out a mouthful of blood. "Castrated the wrong person. You moved without clarifying things?" Jiang Fan was astonished. Mu Ziyu said indignantly, "How was I supposed to know they were flirting? I've never experienced it. How would I know?" Jiang Fan was speechless. "Others didn't explain when they saw you meant business," Mu Ziyu said sheepishly. "He didn't have time. From the moment I left the Demon Emperor Court, I've been practicing castration. This time I got a little carried away, acted too fast, and couldn't stop in time." Jiang Fan shivered, involuntarily clamping his legs tight. "Who practices castration for good fun? Also, she dares to swear Jiang Fan wasn't the fantasy castration target, the most astonishing part." Mu Ziyu continued. "Later, I found out that the male sea demon was the West Sea Demon clan's crown prince." "What?" Jiang Fan was taken aback. No wonder Zhu Yinghuan and the others wouldn't let Mu Ziyu off. Even though sea demons of that level could regenerate severed parts after a while. But the psychological trauma would take years to heal. A perfectly good West Sea crown prince turned into a West Sea princess. Anyone would want to tear Mu Ziyu to pieces. "The West Sea Demon clan gave me quite a favor." Jiang Fan was sheepish. Fortunately, he invented a whole slew of identities to make the other side back down. Otherwise, today would have spelled an inevitable fierce battle. Thinking about that water-repelling pearl, Jiang Fan rolled his eyes. "If you'd mentioned such a big grudge earlier, even for 10 water-repelling pearls, I wouldn't want to get involved." Mu Ziyu thought. True, if someone knew about this beforehand, who would risk such trouble for a water-repelling pearl? For being able to save a life, why did she initially feel so upset? She immediately felt refreshed. Then curiously looked at the 4 people and said, "Your appearance here at this moment. Could it be you're also heading for the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion?" Jiang Fan squinted. "Also, what do you mean? Are there others heading for the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion besides us?" Mu Ziyu nodded. "Isn't it just the West Sea Demon clan? Otherwise, why would the dignified West Sea Crown Prince and the first Martial Minister appear here? This is the North Sea waters, more than 5,000 miles from the West Sea." At this thought, she felt wronged. Would the West Sea Crown Prince come to the North Sea for flirting? Who could have thought of that? A pockmark is not called a pockmark, it's called a pitfall. Jiang Fan looked at concubine Xianxia with confusion. Hasn't the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion already exhausted its resources? Is it worth the West Sea Crown Prince's special trip here? Concubine Xianxia pondered. I'm puzzled too. The mainland demon race doesn't even care for the outer mansion. There's no reason for the West Sea Crown Prince to travel thousands of miles just for it, right? Jiang Fan mulled over. Two possibilities. Either the Outer Mansion has important resources that the mainland demon race hasn't discovered, or they obtained the Pill Book Silver Scrolls. Ling Shu interjected. Brother, Master Liu Li, as the daughter of the Demon Emperor, couldn't obtain the Pill Book Silver Scrolls. The Sea Demon clan even less so. Only 12 copies of the Pill Book Silver Scrolls remain. In the past 60 years, they've either been destroyed or lost with their owner's demise. The truly existing ones are very few. The Sea Demon clan can't possibly acquire them. Oh, Liu Li also searched for the Pill Book Silver Scrolls. Jiang Fan was surprised. In that case, it must be the first possibility. The Outer Mansion has something significant. It's extraordinary enough for the West Sea Demon clan to make a special trip. Time is of the essence. Let's get there quickly. Meanwhile, a few hundred miles away, a near-sea five-finger mountain rose from the ground. The 5 peaks stood shoulder to shoulder like a giant hand covering the sky, backed by the continent with its palm facing the vast sea. A majestic aura came at them face-on. A girl of about 6 or 7, hands behind her back, stood before the 5-finger mountain. Her face showed traces of shock. These 5 mountains, centered and regulating the 4 directions, with winds and thunders controlling the universe. It's a rare imperial feng shui formation. The Tiger Demon Emperor really knows where to choose. Actually choosing the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion here. She was none other than Supreme Elder Qin Wangchuan of Green Cloud Sect's Medicine Peak. Beside her stood the Supreme Elders of the remaining 8 sects. They had received orders from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion months ago. When the Demon Emperor advanced to the front line, they would delve into the demon race heartland to seal the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion, to prevent the demon race from birthing a second Demon Emperor. Now, at last, the Demon Emperor headed southward, giving them the chance to come unnoticed. Standing beside her was the giant sect Supreme Elder, Yi Feng. His physique was robust like an iron tower. The aura he emitted reached 9th layer of core formation perfection. The crowd evidently followed him as their leader. Supreme Elder Qin, enough with the chatter. Now's not the time for admiration. Quickly act and destroy this place so the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion never reemerges. His tone was cold, with a hint of targeting intent. The other Supreme Elders instinctively knew. Fang Teiji was struck down by Jiang Fan with a nascent soul jade token, causing the fall of the giant sect's mightiest. This incident greatly affected the giant sect, threatening them with ejection from the upper 3 sects. Fortunately, the giant sect pooled their resources, overdrawing 3 years of the sect's resources to help Yi Feng arduously reach the 9th layer of core formation perfection. This stabilized their position. Hence, the enmity between Green Cloud Sect and Giant Sect was established. Although Fang Teiji deserved his fate, 1,000 cuts were justified. But the Giant Sect wasn't a place for reasoning, was it? Along the way, Yi Feng frequently targeted Qin Wangchuan. And Qin Wangchuan, being temperamental, couldn't bear such grievances. As expected, conflicts erupted, and she often suffered significant losses. In the most serious incident, her legs were broken. Had it not been for the protection of the accompanying Supreme Elders, her life might have been forfeit. You! Qin Wangchuan was furious, but after a few deep breaths, she chose to endure. Not out of fear of Yi Feng, but due to more pressing matters at hand. She stared intently at the 5-finger mountain before her, coldly saying, "Let's act together." Yi Feng smirked with a hint of mockery. Wouldn't it have been better to behave like this earlier? Why suffer such losses? Do you think it's still the time when Jiang Fan was alive? Upon mentioning Jiang Fan, the several Supreme Elders sighed simultaneously, wearing expressions of uncontrollable regret. Jiang Fan, a prodigy appearing once in a century in the Green Cloud Sect, a distinguished hero of the Boundary Mountain battle. Just during the mission to capture concubine Xianxia, he was captured by the demon race. How much destruction did Jiang Fan cause the demon race during the Boundary Mountain battle? Even with a toe, it was imaginable how much the demon race hated Jiang Fan. The demon race had 1,000, 10,000 reasons to kill Jiang Fan, but none that would allow letting him go. Hence, the fate of Jiang Fan after being captured was obvious. By now, Jiang Fan's grave would probably be growing grass. While the Green Cloud Sect, relying on Jiang Fan recently among the 9 sect, they were riding high. Rumors even had it that the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion intended to heavily cultivate Jiang Fan. The status of Green Cloud Sect was visibly rising. Unfortunately, Jiang Fan's capture marked the end of it all. Shut up, Qin Wangchun could bear no more, had it not been for your giant sex-old traitor betrayal. Would Jiang Fan have been captured? You still dare to mention this? Her eyes filled with hatred. Such a good child was implicated by the giant sect. She even had the urge to charge into the giant sect and wreak havoc. Jiazhang's eyes narrowed. He said with a hollow smile, "Seems like you're not properly humbled yet." 5 fingers clenched and tumultuous power surged throughout his body. "Stop, all of you! There's strong demon energy approaching." The Supreme Elder from the Spirit Beast sect, being most sensitive to demon energy, seemingly sensed something. His face changed dramatically. Jiazhang's heart tightened. Encountering the demon race in their heartland was no good event, was it? Nonetheless, he had already broken through to the 9th layer of core formation perfection. As long as he didn't encounter the 4 great demon kings, or that nearly invincible under nascent soul-level concubine Xianxia, there shouldn't be any major issues. "Don't worry, I'm here." Jiazhang displayed immense confidence. With the demon race advancing south, it's improbable for anyone powerful to be here, however, upon sensing the 2 terrifying demon powers rushing from the distant land. He was utterly astonished. Demon King-level demon powers. Several Supreme Elders quivered all over. What made their scalps tingle even more was 2 complete Demon King-level powers. What's going on? Was our action known in advance by the demon race? Jiazhang was deeply shocked. Qin Wangchun looked at the approaching shadows with a hint of confusion. She stared at one of the shadows. Her eyes showed a trace of surprise, because this shadow gave her a familiar feeling. Soon, the shadow became barely discernible. A handsome young man with fair skin and a jade-like face in a black robe appeared. She was shocked and covered her mouth with one hand. The other hand tugged the sleeve of the Spirit Beast sect elder. "Sister Chen, help me take a look. That person is Jiang Fan." Jiang Fan's appearance vividly. His brows, eyes, mouth, nose, figure, and looks, she could depict them all without a single mistake. Yet at this moment, she didn't dare to be sure, or rather, she feared that the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. Jiang Fan is dead. This is the consensus of the Green Cloud sect, the 9th sect, and even the entire human clan, even if the heavens were to split open. The demon race would not have spared his life. However, Jiang Fan appeared in front, lively and full of life. How could she dare to believe? Chen Taisheng Elder was stunned for a moment and said, "Jiang Fan?" Then, understanding something, his gaze slightly dimmed and he comforted. "Sister, look forward. Don't torment yourself anymore. Jiang Fan is gone." The other Supreme Elders also showed expressions of sympathy. Jiang Fan's death was a huge blow to the entire Green Cloud sect. Recently, Qin Wangchun had visibly been in a decline. Silent and alone all day, often absent-minded. Sometimes at night, her faint sobs could be heard. To cause such distress to someone who has lived through countless partings and nearly reached 100 years old shows exactly how deep the blow was. Now suddenly claiming to have seen Jiang Fan, it's most likely an illusion. Jiazhang sneered with a mocking tone. "So Jiang Fan is still alive? Then your Green Cloud sect ancestors are really something, able to protect him even like this. Let me confirm for you if it's Jiang Fan." He sneered as he looked toward the figure Qin Wangchun pointed at. It was fine not looking, but one look and Jiazhang's soul nearly fled. He exclaimed in shock, "Jiang Fan? How is that possible?" Several Supreme Elders were stunned, another one gone mad. They looked curiously toward where Qin Wangchun pointed. At that sight, they all looked as if they had seen a ghost, terror-stricken. "Jiang Fan? It's really Jiang Fan. My God, am I seeing ghosts in daylight? How could he possibly still be alive?" Qin Wangchun trembled with excitement. Unable to hold back laughter, "Jiang Fan isn't dead. He isn't dead. Ha ha ha." A tear flowed amidst her laughter. The last time she cried tears of joy was a long, long time ago. After so many years, a heart as still as dead water surged warmly again. Conversely, Jiazhang's face was as dark as water. "This one isn't dead. It makes no sense. Are all of the demon race possessed by bodhisattvas? Allowing this wretch to live until now?" Seeing Qin Wangchun's delight only added to his displeasure, he said, "What are you so happy about? Didn't you see the chains on him? There are 2 demon kings guarding beside as well. Even if the King of Heaven came, no one could save him." Qin Wangchun's smile abruptly disappeared. Yet her face still showed thick joy, hastily bowing to the Supreme Elders, saying, "Dear fellow cultivators, I, Qin Wangchun, have never begged anyone. But today, shamelessly, I beg for your help to save Jiang Fan. Regardless of success or failure, I owe you all a great favor. Any place you ever need help, through fire and water, I will go for you. her prideful nature. For Jiang Fan, she was willing to humble herself and beg. The present Supreme Elders were moved, but looking at concubine Xianxia and Charm Demon King, they had to remain calm. Supreme Elder Qin, an existence at the Demon King level isn't something we can contend with. Let alone, too, killing us wouldn't be harder than crushing an ant for them. The gap between 9th layer perfection and 9th layer is like day and night. Back when Fang Teiji slaughtered the human clan elders, it was effortless. Facing these two demon kings, it wouldn't be much different. Qin Wangchuan bit her lip, suddenly knelt on the ground, kowtowed, saying, "I know I'm asking for difficulties for you, but I will use my life to stall them. I only ask that you take Jiang Fan away. This old bag of bones, die as I might, one less in the green cloud sect won't make much difference. Yet losing Jiang Fan would be an eternal regret." The Supreme Elders were shocked and helped her up. To go this far for a disciple, weighing the pros and cons. Finally, a Supreme Elder relented. "All right, if we don't directly face the Demon Kings, I can try to take Jiang Fan away. But I can't guarantee success. However, Supreme Elder, he must join too. No matter how much you stall, it's impossible to handle both Demon Kings. He must deal with at least one Demon King." Asking He Ju Zhang. Qin Wangchuan pressed her lips together. Even knowing He Ju Zhang wouldn't agree, she still chose to lower herself and try to ask. "Supreme Elder He, previously I offended you many times. Please do not hold a grudge against a petty person. I implore you to overlook past wrongs and lend me a hand." The Supreme Elders were deeply moved. Qin Wangchuan would not even want to lose an argument normally. For Jiang Fan, she bowed to someone who wronged her. He Ju Zhang smirked insincerely. "You want me to save Jiang Fan? Sure. Kneel down and kowtow to me first." What Qin Wangchuan's pupils trembled. A great humiliation surged to her heart. But after merely a moment of thought, she slightly bit her lip amidst the startled exclamations of the Supreme Elders present. She bent her knees and knelt in front of He Ju Zhang, bowed heavily, saying, "Supreme Elder He, please help me." He Ju Zhang felt immense satisfaction. This old woman finally knelt before him. Ha ha ha, he grinned cruelly, just about to teasingly reject her, but after a thought. This isn't enough. He wanted to kill Jiang Fan in front of Qin Wangchuan, crush her completely. If she wanted to save Jiang Fan, fine. Then he would pretend to save him and then fiercely kill that wretch Jiang Fan. He believed both Demon Kings would not obstruct him in killing Jiang Fan, the sworn enemy of their race. With this thought, he smiled and helped Qin Wangchuan up, saying, "All right then, since Supreme Elder Qin has humbled herself so much. If I, He Ju Zhang, don't agree, it would upset the heavens. Fine, I will stall one Demon King. The rest is up to you guys." Qin Wangchuan was ecstatic. She never imagined He Ju Zhang would agree. "Let's make our move. Since we've discovered them, they surely can discover us too. No need to hide." On the other side, concubine Xianxia and the Charm Demon King slowed their pace, frowning slightly as they looked toward Jiang Fan. "Seems to be your human clan. Anyone you recognize?" Concubine Xianxia's eyes showed a faint chill. She had no fondness for the human clan, except Jiang Fan was an exception. For those daring to trespass the Tiger Demon Emperor Mansion from the human clan. If they weren't someone Jiang Fan knew, she wouldn't mind leaving them here forever. Jiang Fan was a bit surprised. Where did the human clan come from, so bold to venture into the northernmost lands of the demon race? Could they be from the outer realm divine sect? However, when both sides got closer, seeing the silhouette of a small girl amongst them, he couldn't help but be surprised. "Chuanchuan." Xianxia withdrew her killing intent. The Charm Demon King and Ling Shu also withdrew their medicinal power, curiously sizing up the little girl. "Brother, who is that girl? Is she your sister?" Ling Shu asked in confusion. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. "I don't have such a powerful sister." Up until now, how could he not understand? Chuanchuan is definitely not some little girl, but a formidable powerhouse. Otherwise, how could she traverse the continent, arriving unscathed in such a dangerous place? "She is a supreme elder of my green cloud sect. She takes great care of me. She is an elder I need to respect." There wasn't such a person named Chuanchuan among the elders. It must be one of those rarely seen supreme elders. As for still being in the body of a little girl, it's likely similar to Yue Mingzhu, her body fixed at a certain age for some special reason. However, she wasn't as fortunate as Yue Mingzhu, forever 18, but was unluckily fixed in the state of a little girl. "Elder," Ling Shu's face changed, quickly straightening the wrinkles on her sleeve, smoothing her hair, anxiously showing a sweet and refreshing smile. Concubine Xianxia also unconsciously straightened her posture, appearing more dignified and graceful than usual. The sea-charmed demon king looked at the two in astonishment, couldn't help but mutter, "No, that's Jiang Fan's elder. What are you nervous about?" At this moment, Qin Wangchuan led a group of supreme elders aggressively rushing over. From afar, she shouted, "Jiang Fan, don't be afraid. I've come to save you." Jiang Fan was stunned for a moment. Looking at the dragon binding chain on his body, he understood what they intended to do. Both moved and at a loss of how to react. "Elder Qin, you've misunderstood." He quickly stopped them to prevent unnecessary conflict. Qin Wangchuan and several supreme elders were at this time highly focused on those of the demon race, not seriously listening to Jiang Fan's words, still rushing forward. Zhang even gave a sinister smile, charging towards the sea-charmed demon king ahead of them. Seeing Zhang really entangle with one of the demon kings as promised, hope gleamed in Qin Wangchuan's eyes. There was a chance to save Jiang Fan. However, what made her furious was, Zhang, upon reaching in front of the sea-charmed demon king, did not engage in battle. He mockingly moved towards Jiang Fan, shouting, "This demon race friend, don't misunderstand. I'm here to help you kill Jiang Fan." Qin Wangchuan then realized she had been completely tricked. Angrily shouting, "Zhang, you'll die a miserable death." Zhang sneered, "You're the fool. Really think kneeling to me, kowtowing to me, I'd help you save Jiang Fan. And don't you recall what Jiang Fan did to my giant sect? I wish to see him dismembered. Why would I save him? Watch closely, the green cloud sect's most treasured disciple will die by my hand." Ha ha ha. But just as he reached before Jiang Fan, the sea charm's gaze turned cold. A fist suddenly rushed towards Zhang's face. Zhang was shocked, swiftly retreating, explaining, "Demon race friend, I'm killing Jiang Fan. I mean no harm to you." Sea Charm was even more furious upon hearing, "Who is your friend? Kill Jiang Fan? You're courting death," slaying her master right in front of her. Preposterous. With a swish, she transformed into a gust of wind and snow, disappearing in thin air, instantaneously moving behind Zhang, striking a fierce palm onto his back. Unexpectedly, Zhang was pounded and staggered, almost tumbling over. He angrily questioned, "Are you crazy? I'm helping you kill Jiang Fan. You know what Jiang Fan did to your demon race, don't you? Even if you don't want Jiang Fan dead for now, you don't need to be so harsh on me, right?" If it weren't for his practice in body technique, this palm could have been fatal, but right after rebuking, a fragrant breeze assaulted. Looking up, it was the disgusted-looking concubine Xianxia. "You're from the same sect as Fang Teiji, aren't you? Equally repulsive." A wave of her sleeve. From afar, she struck Zhang deep into the ground. The ground caved in to form a human-shaped pit Zhang deep. Countless cracks spread in all directions. With a splurt, Zhang couldn't control himself and spat out a mouthful of blood, painting his face red. He was aghast. You must be concubine Xianxia. But why have you also gone mad?" "I'm killing Jiang Fan," Ling Shu, with a cold, pretty face, snapped. "Stubborn fool, still talking about killing my brother." Furiously, she sent out beams of spirit light, making Zhang scream incessantly. Zhang, who was so imposing just a moment ago, in a blink was blood-stained and in tatters. At this point, Zhang finally realized something was wrong. Crawling out from the pit, trembling, he said, You're aligned with Jiang Fan?" Concubine Xianxia's pretty face was indifferent, turning to ask Jiang Fan, "Can I kill him?" Sea Charm and Ling Shu also looked at Jiang Fan, all showing a hint of killing intent. This person called Zhang truly unbearable. The expressions of the three women said it all. To even kill someone needed Jiang Fan's permission. They weren't captives nor captors with Jiang Fan. Qin Wangchuan and the others who rushed over stopped in bewilderment. Brains somewhat short of processing. Jiang Fan was not just alive, but had an unusual relationship with two demon kings and the delicate-looking demon girl. "Jiang Fan, what's going on with you now?" She looked at the chains on Jiang Fan, then at the three demon women seemingly led by him. Jiang Fan, however, looked sullen, his voice deep and intimidating. "Chuan, perhaps I should call you Supreme Elder. What did this old thing mean by you kneeling for him?" Qin Wangchuan's gaze wavered, saying, "And no big deal. As long as you're fine." She didn't want Jiang Fan to do anything to Zhang because of her. Jiang Fan had already killed one giant clan Supreme Elder. To kill another would mean an irreconcilable enmity. "Don't avoid it. Speak clearly," Jiang Fan said in a low voice. Zhang attempting to kill him didn't bother him in the least. Countless giant sect disciples wished to kill him. One more Zhang is nothing unusual. But tricking Qin Wangchuan into kneeling, he couldn't forgive. Qin Wangchuan avoided responding. By her side, the spirit beast sect Supreme Elder couldn't contain her anger, saying, "I'll explain. It happened like this." She laid out the details clearly after hearing it all. Jiang Fan was visibly shaking. Xianxia knelt and kowtowed to beg He Zhang. In his memory, how stubborn was Xianxia. Such a person kneeling and kowtowing, just to plead with He Zhang to save him, it could have ended there. What made Jiang Fan's anger uncontrollable was He Zhang's mockery. "You're damned!" Jiang Fan summoned the purple sword. A flash of purple light came slashing down on He Zhang. He Zhang was shocked. Using his wounded body with a swoosh, he leaped away, fleeing wildly into the distance, his heart pounding in panic. Jiang Fan wasn't terrifying. Scary was that concubine Xianxia obeyed his words. With just his word, concubine Xianxia would chase after him and easily claim his life. At this moment, the distant sea suddenly parted. A group of shrimp soldiers and crab generals, carrying a coral-adorned throne, approached the continent. On the throne sat a man and a woman. The man was strikingly heroic, the woman gracefully elegant. Flanking the coral throne were 2 Sea Demon clan members with aura reaching 9th layer of core formation perfection. One among them even had skin that glowed. He Zhang was overjoyed. He had heard the mainland demon clan and the Sea Demon clan didn't get along. If he could side with the Sea Demon clan, concubine Xianxia and the Sea Charm Demon King could do nothing about him. Jiang Fan couldn't do anything about him either.